Yep. I fucked her. I guess I didn't. Give me a minute here. Set shit up. So what's going on with everybody tonight? Come on. Where? I'm muted again, Sarah. What'd I do? I'm muted again, Sarah. What'd I do? How do I keep doing this? Thank you, Shannon. I'll figure it out. I know why I can't hear anything. Because I'm an idiot. I'm not talking to anybody. I only hear somebody if somebody's on with me. So what's going on, everybody? Oh, the new one I sent you was no good. It's because I was playing a joke on you, Sarah. Somebody likes to play jokes too.
Boo.
Yeah, I give credit to those who live stream all alone. It's hard to understand if you're doing anything. You don't hear nothing.
Well, that's how it used to be with me on when I did OBS all the time. It would just me be playing a game, talking to the wall, or the people in the chat.
I'm actually surprised anybody showed up. I'm still like wired up, man. I was in like 100-mile-an-hour mode today.
Less coffee.
No, I don't ever drink coffee.
Less Fanta.
Huh?
Less Fanta.
When I'm at work, I usually drink bottled water. And once in a while, I'll throw in a Coke or a Dr. Pepper here and there. But, no, we were getting ready to close, and I looked at the job board, and we got a couple guys that aren't going to be in the rest of the week. And I'm like, oh my God, we are knee deep in shit. And we got a bunch of people approve shit. Not just stuff I look. In fact, everything I touched tonight was nothing I looked at. They're all guys that aren't going to be there, and it's all bullshit gravy work, man. I think I freaking ended up flagging like 27 and a half hours. If you add up everything I did through the whole day today, if it was all to cash out, it was like 27 and a half hours. I stuck around and knocked out a bunch of front end work, axle shafts, alignments, just bullshit, just to try to catch us up a little bit. I mean, we were so many cars behind, it's not funny.
My God. Jesus.
My diag stuff I can put on hold. Those customers already were told it's going to be a while.
And I thought my life was hard. I did an oil change on a 2020 Dodge, and that was the end of my day. I was done. Tired.
It had to be tough putting used brake pads on a car.
No.
That's the first time I've ever seen that. I've never seen used brake pads installed in a car. How you doing, Sergio?
Well, that's the thing is trading the car in, and the pads that they took off were still good.
And raging. I thought I saw him.
They were evilly worn.
I thought I saw him.
So instead of spending money on another set of brake pads, just throw the ones that were perfectly fine on that didn't need to be changed, and then drive it down to the dealership and trade it in. Just needed the tires not to squeal.
All right, I'm adding to the stream. Hose Clamp Champ is coming in.
Oh. It's the Hose Clamp Champ.
Hose Clamp Champ. What's up? What's up, CB?
Don't sound too tired.
I'm worn.
I should be beat, but man, I'm like jittery and shaky because I was like busting my ass so hard at work, doing shit I normally don't do. I'll probably hurt like hell tomorrow.
It's been a rough week already. I tried to do a couple guys a solid that have a contractor business, and they have some Chevy 1500s, and they had some problems with them. They wanted to get them started over the winter. So I went in, diagnosed them. One had a bad starter, and they replaced the starter and managed to destroy the crank sensor. How? I don't know.
On what?
They destroyed the crank sensor. You know the crank sensor on the GM LSs?
Yeah. What kind of vehicle?
Huh?
On what kind of vehicle?
On a 1500 Chevy.
Yeah, crank sensors is located straight up above it a little bit.
The starter, yeah. And so they somehow destroyed the crank sensor, changing the starter. I went and helped them diagnose the car anyways to let them know that the starter
reads off the flywheel, right?
Huh?
That reads off the flywheel, right?
Yeah. And they somehow let the starter hang, destroy the wire, and then they got the truck started, drove it, and then it broke down. Okay, well, then they blamed me and said that I misdiagnosed it and that they replaced the starter for no reason. Come to find out, after I get the vehicle up on the hoist, look underneath it, they destroyed the wire and severed it on the one vehicle. So that was an absolute nightmare, and then they didn't want to pay me for two different separate diagnostics. You know, they didn't want me to replace the starter. They just wanted me to figure out why they could do it, you know. So I said, okay, that's fine. You know, I went in. I said, yo, you just need a starter. You know, they couldn't get it started. Wouldn't turn over. No crank, no start. You know, that was the simple. So then I determined that it was a starter. I figured that out. They thought it was fuel pump. You know, it was intermittent, and they were having intermittent problems over the wintertime. And then they finally shut down. So I don't know, it is what it is. It's just stupidity. And then you have to fight with people about shit like that because they screw it up. You know, it just, you know, it sounded like you were frustrated. I didn't catch it a whole lot what you were talking about, but
like basically everybody left the shop except me and my service manager, and I looked at the job board and I got a couple guys that are going to be off, and a bunch of shit that they wrote up got sold. All gravy bullshit. Shit I normally don't do very often.
yep.
And I just looked at a stack of tickets all sold, and I looked and I see all these parts are at the shop. And I just told John, I was like, he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, dude, just go home. I got it. He said, "You sure?" He goes, dude, it's not safe to leave you here alone. I said, dude, you leave me here alone all the damn time. I said, it's getting cool out. I'll close the bay doors. Nobody can get in here. I'll lock the doors all up. I said, I'm going to load the shop up with a bunch of cars. And I said, I'm going to stay until I decide I don't feel like staying no more. I'm going to knock all this shit out as much as I can.
Right.
If I don't, we are totally fucked tomorrow. And we're fucked on Thursday. Part of my friend's chat, not Chad, but the chat group or live stream group. But we're totally screwed. I mean, we are knee deep.
Right.
Found out a bunch of bullcrap stuff. Ball joints, tie rods, alignments, some axle shafts, a couple of brake jobs with calipers and rotors and pads. And I probably turned, like, if everything would have cashed out that I did throughout the whole day today, like 27 hours. I added it up before I went home.
But will you get a bonus for that?
I get a bonus no matter what.
Right.
Every week.
Hell yeah.
I get a kicker every week for helping everybody out, being patient, explaining shit, having a community toolbox, talking to customers, pricing tickets, selling tickets.
Community toolbox is no good.
It's the guys I work with right now, except for one. Well, he's gone now, so I can't even say except for one. The guys I work with right now, they're pretty good. I told them you guys start watching YouTube stuff and you're gonna learn shit. I gave them a couple channel names to watch. I said, you want to learn about tools? I gave them some channels to watch. I said, you want to learn about diags? I gave them a couple channels to watch.
You know, that's the beautiful thing about YouTube is they're
a couple of guys are watching it, and you know, surprisingly, I hand them my dirty ass, whatever you name it, ratchet, air hammer, and they bring it back to me. Like, you want me to put it back in the drawer you took it out of? And I look at it, and I see it's all nice and clean. Oh yeah, just put it back in the drawer. You know where it's at. I said, if you put it back where I took it from, you're gonna learn. When you say, hey, can I borrow your air hammer, Dave, or borrow this, borrow that? If you see where I'm grabbing it from, and you learn to put it back there,
right.
You ask me if you need to borrow a tool. You don't have to ask me where it's at. You're gonna start learning where it's at. All except for my side locker. You ain't gonna find nothing in there. I only know where it's at in there.
Must be something with old guys having patience with some of these young guys that.
If my side locker is like an overpacked freezer, like if you take one thing out the wrong way, it's all gonna fall out.
Feel you, man. It's good that you're.
My videos, he'll have brain damage by the time he's done.
You know what? It's good that you recognize YouTube what it's worth, because being able to, there's diet guys, there's good parts cleaner. You know, there's a huge diversity in mechanics now. It's not like it used to be, where you had one guy that did it all.
Well, I'm far from the best diet guy. I go to people for help all the freaking time when I get one of those freaking head deals, you know.
I'm far from being the best at anything.
I don't think there is such a thing as best at anything.
No, and I don't think any mechanic will ever claim to. Any real mechanic, any self-respecting mechanic will never claim he's the best, because this is a constant learning. This is a battle. This is a war. One of the best I've ever worked with. God, I hope Paul Danner ain't watching right now. I know he isn't. One of the best I've ever had a training class with, or ever
just had the experience of working with. And Paul Danner's guilty of this too. What the hell?
I don't know what happened.
I think I just did something wrong.
I'm here.
No, I think somebody else was trying to join and I accidentally hit it the wrong way and I booted him. So if you still want to join, I didn't mean to boot you. I accidentally hit the mouse the wrong way. So whoever that was, rejoin. I have no problem throwing you up. Like I said, everybody keep it respectful. He actually was I had him, I think it was Envision training.
Oh, really?
But he has his own shops now.
Who is it?
Royalty Auto.
He was at Vision.
He used to be a trainer for various companies.
Vision is, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of guys that aren't on YouTube that go to Vision that are extremely intelligent. I got to tell you that as much as I love Eric O and some of the guys on YouTube, they're great mechanics. But I'm not saying they're the worst, but they're great mechanics. But there are some really great guys that go to Vision Kansas City that I've personally met, and they don't do any YouTube. They just do personal training. The guy that I talk to mostly, his name's Kevin, and he bounces back and forth from Kansas City to Des Moines to all over, and he is a phenomenal guy with an oscilloscope. I mean, he is just impeccable. I mean, he's the go-to guy. When I need to ask him, he doesn't do anything without basically running a scope on anything. But that's all he does. He only does heavy, like crazy diagnostics. Like if you got a car that nobody can touch, you call this guy, and that's what he does. I mean, it's like insane.
Royalty Auto will do the same thing, and they don't
Yeah.
care if it takes them 4 days. But you better just know ahead of time if you're bringing them a car that nobody else has been able to fix. And I kind of approach it the same way, and I'm not guaranteeing I'll be able to fix it, but I'm going to do my damnedest to try to figure it out.
I got beat up on an X5, and so did he. He came up, and we had a transmission lockout, and I think it was like an 05 BMW, which this is the reason why I don't work on BMWs anymore. BMW just outdates their technology so fast that anything that's older than 10 years, they don't care about. BMW does not care about. They don't do updating on it. It's just, far as from what I've experienced and around here, they just don't have. There's guys that are BMW guys that I don't know. It's not very well supported. And I had Kevin come up and he looked at 2 BMWs and he said both of them you're going to have to get OEM scan tools to do anything on them to lock them out of the security, get them unlocked out of security. One was a transmission and one was an immobilizer. And when he did that, when he told me that, I was just like, this is ridiculous. And I paid him $500 to come do that. And that, then I couldn't fix the car. So I was out $500. And that's why I said, you know what? It's just, if it's older than 10 years, just stay away from it. I'll do batteries and simple shit like that, but it's got getting into those deals again. Nope, never again. That was a nightmare.
Well, Royalty Auto's got every piece of equipment you could ever imagine is provided for them and their technicians.
Mm-hmm.
The owner will not. He has strict guidelines. Basically, you sit there and say you need this part, you need mass airflow, you need this, you need that, you need this, you need that, and he'll tell the technician prove it.
Right.
I mean, their whole inspection process. They are an elite shop. How can I say? I can't say anything different. They're a very elite shop in southern Georgia. I mean, while they're going through their inspection process, all their work orders are done electronically with tablets. As they're doing their inspection process, they shoot pictures of everything that they see wrong. and they even shoot pictures of everything they see. Right.
Right.
They're documenting their whole process, and that's just the basic inspection. That's not even getting into the diet part, but they shoot everything. But they have,
Oh, they have great documentation. Is everything now? Like,
they have basically every top-notch scope you could imagine.
right?
They got everything, and they're probably on like a 3-week waiting list themselves, maybe longer, probably longer. Knowing that shop, I forgot what their hourly rate is. The last time I talked to anybody down there, I think their last hourly labor rate I knew of, in general, and it changes depending on what they're working on, was 185 an hour.
That's
I think on euros, like Beamers and all that, I think it's even higher than that now.
right.
I don't know. I don't work for them. I don't own the business. I just know they're top notch.
I know diesels are up to right around that, around here, $185 an hour, and euros are. I think I said this before, but our BMW dealership, Mercedes dealership, is $210 an hour now.
Like I said, I'm sure they have a fluctuating rate.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have. I can't say this. I don't own the company. I don't work there, but I have a friend that does work for them. I used to actually work side by side with him years ago, and basically, from what he tells me, there's not a back shop employee that makes less than their flat rate with a guarantee. If they put in this many hours, they're guaranteed so much a week. They have a flat rate with bonus kickers and all the whole 9 yards. There's not an employee that makes, say, less than like $38 an hour flat rate.
You know, I really do believe that this business, this trade,
and I know their guarantees hover around. I shouldn't say that. It's well over $1,000. It's well over $1,000 a week.
There's no reason that anybody in this trade couldn't make $100,000 a year.
What's that?
No reason. I don't think there's anybody there's no reason anybody in this trade should be able to not make $100,000 a year nowadays.
You can make $100,000 a year if you work for the right place and you
Right.
have the skill set. And I don't want anybody to get mad at me if you hear this. I have no idea. Maybe he makes $100,000 a year, but his videos don't portray it. But there are YouTubers out there that claim like to expect that after so many years of experience, expect a $35,000 a year income. Expect this, expect that.
Right.
This down and expect to never ever be able to flag hour for hour and do this. Well, that's all bullshit.
Right.
If you have a problem with that, you either aren't good enough or you're working at the wrong place. And if you have a problem with flat rate because you can't turn it that fast, find a place that pays you hourly and respects you for what you can do.
Right. Yep. I totally agree. That's if you're not getting what you're supposed to be getting, it's definitely you need to be somewhere where you're happy. That's what it's all about. That's why I went to work for myself. Honestly, because there's not that many shops around here that there's not that many.
A buddy of mine works in Troy, Michigan. Not Troy, Michigan, Rochester Hills, Michigan, at a BMW dealership, and he pushes the 150 mark.
Yeah. My cousin works.
I will say the only disadvantage: the dealer doesn't match a 401k for him, and his benefit package is he bitches all the time about that 150 is an overrated number in gross income because a large portion of his medical coverage that he pays for him and his family, he pays for it. His dealership pays very little of it. I mean, his dealership would like to tell them and tell his employees, oh, we're covering this much of it. But when he tells me it's costing him, just shy of $1,400 a month for him, his wife, and his son to have medical program that is a high deductible healthcare program that the first, so many thousands and thousands of dollars got to come out of his pocket before his medical even kicks in. I'm like, your boss or your owner of the dealer is not paying much of your medical. He's probably charging you all of it. And he has no retirement set. They have no retirement program over at that dealer, but it comes good. He likes it. He said, once you get used to the Beamers, you know what to sell and know how to do it, it's gravy work. I haven't worked on that main BMW, so I've a lot of BMWs, but I mean, not like he does every day.
I worked on enough to know that they're pain in the ass. That's all there is to it. It's not so much that it's just the German engineering. They're stubborn on what they do. They do what they want. They don't try to conform. They think they're. I'm not saying it as if they're bad people, but everything the Germans do is on their terms. Let's just put it to you that way. They are very proud people of what they do. That's all there is to it.
Well, my management at least covers, or my ownership at least covers, a very large portion of my medical, optical, and dental. And they match my 401k up to, believe it or not, they upped it to 8% of my income. Like 8% of what I put in. So if I put in 8%, they'll put 4%. They were only doing 5 and 2. Like if I did 5, they do 2.5. Now they went to 8 and 4. It's better than nothing.
Damn sight better than nothing.
You're correct, JWC.
Can't believe I just broke my fucking. Oops! I can't believe I just broke my phone, dude. They just don't make things like they used to. I used to buy OtterBox stuff, and it was used to be good stuff, but now it's just absolute trash. Broke my kid's thing right off.
Turner.
What do you I'm generally what do I want to say here? I'm generally curious why I cannot believe this hose clamp video that I've done has absolutely turned people's I just guys that claim they're professional mechanics seem to can't get over it that the worm clamps are not acceptable on plastic radiators, and I really just cannot wrap my mind around what I'm missing here.
There's still manufacturers that use them.
Yep, there's still auto manufacturers where they call for them and they expect them.
On what manufacturers?
Ford
doesn't have them. They have spring clamps on all their stuff.
Not all of them.
Stellantis,
there are a lot of Fords that actually come with hose
I don't know.
clamps.
I don't even know how to refer to them anymore because they keep changing. But Stellantis is using some interesting clamps.
What are they? Are they like spring tension?
I don't know what the hell they are. If you call them constant tension or not, I'm not an engineer.
Well, BMW uses pinch clamps on there.
They look like as tight as you could possibly get the fucking clamp type of clamp. They're stainless steel.
Yeah.
And the only way you get
so that's the pinch clamp, like the BMW is what you're talking about, where they crimp clamps?
Kinda.
Clicker crimp?
They're not quite the same as BMWs. They're different. Of course they're different because they're Italian.
Well, I don't understand what
PSI behind it. That's what it comes down to, is the amount of PSI. A pinch clamp in that, and like the standard radiator clamp is only good to 65 PSI if there's going to be any buildup pressure of that. But the reason why they do use those is because of the expansion of the rubber and the expansion of the plastic, but they also do want it to blow off if pressure does build up, because it will
Right.
actually prevent like head gasket failure in that.
My biggest problem is that every OEM manufacturer that uses a plastic radiator requires a constant tension clamp because when a radiator cools, it contracts, and when it heats up, it expands. And if you use a worm drive clamp on these radiators, I don't understand how you're absolutely getting a seal. But the fact is like these guys that are in my, which I will say there's not as many people saying it in my comment section, but there's just a handful of just absolute guys that are like claiming they're professional techs. And I'm like, dude, you should be fired. They're like, oh, I put these on every car that comes in. One guy said he's from Arizona. I've been working on cars 27 years old, and I always put these on. Dude, you are absolutely benign on thinking with this thinking. That's all there is to it. I cannot wrap my mind around how many people. I've never seen a single thing that has been inherently so misconceived in my entire life. And I thought this was widely known. I mean, I really thought this was cars have been using constant tension clamps for 20 years.
You're correct. You're correct. And they fail in a lot of cars, and a lot of cars they don't. Depends on what material they're made out of. But I will say,
spring steel though.
Post clamp champ, you've clearly made your point, and others have made their point.
Yeah.
A worm clamp will work if properly torqued. I'm not saying they equal the constant tension clamp, but I've heard a lot about clamps over the last week. And we talk about cock rings or something. And pardon my French if there's any ladies in the house.
No, this is on my short. This is on my short. And it's constantly. I don't know. I haven't heard that. I'm the only one that's talked about this. I didn't know this has been going around other places. To be honest with you about hose clamps, I'm just curious how you can properly torque a hose clamp that expands and contracts with cold and heat.
Well, there is one thing. There are some hose clamps that actually do. There are some worm clamps out there that actually the metal that they're made out of actually does allow them to expand and contract with the heat of the vehicle. There are some manufacturers and some brands.
They have spring tension hose. They have spring tension worm drives.
Yep. But it literally all just comes down to application and pressure. On the market. And availability. That's the other thing is availability. If the customer wants their car right now and they don't have a constant spring clamp, they want it right now. They're not going to wait for 2 days for their spring clamp to come in from the dealer. You have no choice but to put their hose clamp back on or put a hose clamp on. Like that's the thing. It's also accessibility because these constant hose clamps aren't something that's commonly sold at parts stores They're in every dealership across America. And they're on Amazon.
Has them in stock right now for a certain size.
And they're on Amazon.
Perfect example.
Yeah, but how long do you have to wait for that? That's the thing. Customers don't want to wait 3 days.
One comment about hose clamps, and I'm fucking done with this whole hose clamp thing.
Yeah.
I don't see a shit ton of failure with constant tension hose clamps on GM or Ford vehicles. Yeah. And this is rare for me to say. Here in Metro Detroit, Southern Eastern Michigan, I see extreme failure. And it's hard for me to say this because I don't see extreme failures with many other things on their cars. But I see extreme failure with constant tension clamps quick and early on Hondas and Toyotas and even Nissans. The foreign automakers are using
the rads are made out of.
No, they're using straight up steel. The other manufacturers, they rust up and they pop and they break and boof, the hose comes off. They rot up.
I have the OEM clamps on my 2002 Chevy that are constant tension. I had my 2000.
You live in Iowa. You don't see that many foreign cars up there.
No, well, yeah, there's a lot of Hondas here. I mean, there's Toyotas and Hondas all over everywhere. I mean, we're not that completely desolate to the world. I mean, there's 7 million people that live in the state of Iowa.
And it could be used for a good purpose right now.
But my Chrysler I used stock clamps on. I never changed a clamp on my Chrysler 300 that I bought brand new, and I changed both radiator hoses after 10 years of owning that vehicle.
Dude.
What's that?
I'm listening to you.
Oh, I thought you said I was saying goodbye to somebody.
No.
Anyways, I'm just blown away. I just don't understand. I just was generally curious because there's
a little better at night if you didn't think about hose clamps.
Well, I mean, the sad part about it is like I've had like I have like 100 messages on my email that people are like, damn, I'm glad somebody finally said it. And, of course, most of these guys just don't want to comment in the comment section because they see these guys that are degenerates that make these foolish, like one guy said he had a Crown Vic. Bro, they haven't even made a Crown Vic in 7 years.
Well, see, I'll try to email you one. It's piss water.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's just interesting. It's just an interesting topic to me. That's all. Tool Demos had it on his video even worse than I did. He had 3,000 comments of just absolute craziness, but he's got over 1 million views, so it's all relative to views. You're always going to get.
Well, that was probably a short, right?
Huh?
That was probably a short, right?
Yeah, it was a short, same as mine. I just.
It comes down to application. Like the pictures that you showed of the two of the blue rubber line on the two like heat exchanger lines, those would be a hose clamp. Those would be a constant variable because the pressure increase and that would be too high for the constant pressure. So hose clamp would be required on those. Now on the radiator, where it's going into the radiator out, a constant clamp. Now going into the block, a constant clamp. But any line that's under a 1/4 inch that's going to have increased pressure and isn't going to have the expansion contraction,
right? You could get away with using a hose clamp. Oh,
like
absolutely.
What I think a lot of people thought is I think a lot of people saw your video and you were saying that no hose clamps would be used on a vehicle, and I think that's what they were getting. I don't think they were trying to see your point that on coolant system and stuff like that. Constant clamp.
No, well, I mean, that's knee-jerk reactions, though. I expect that. That's just a knee-jerk ignorance, is what I call that.
But it all just comes down to application and that and literally what's called for. So
yeah, well, I got one
like an EGR cooler line. That would be a hose clamp. That's not going to be a constant clamp. Constant clamp will fail on that.
Absolutely.
Every day on that. So
absolutely.
So
I truly believe that the funny thing is that I got one video. The short is the short's the one that I'm getting a bunch of comments on. It's not even the video. That's the funny thing, but nonetheless, it is what it is. Yeah. So, anyways. As Dave says, he wants to move on from hose clamps, which I didn't realize I haven't talked about it that much, so I didn't think it was really that big a deal, but I've definitely dealt with it as far as just dumb comments.
You want to stop yourself from busting a load too quick, you're better off with a fucking really tight worm clamp.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Still going to expand.
Well, a lot of SBD, what is that, SDM? What do they call that? That's like SDM stuff. I think they do that stuff like... like Short Kings.
You're getting way too fucking deep, man.
You don't like it?
No, I just I don't even know what's the DM stand for. I'm trying to think about it.
Well, you said for keep from busting a load, so I figured you were talking about some SBDM stuff because that's like, isn't that what that's called? Like, I don't know. I mean, that's what they do, whips and chokers and stuff like that. Listen, bro, I don't know any different.
Bad thoughts in my head right now.
Okay,
I'm picturing whips and chokers on the wrong person and shit.
Right. It is what it is. I did. So, nonetheless, how about tool? I got a stack of new tools. I got something interesting coming up. A couple things interesting. I got a really fun thing going on next month too. I'm looking forward to doing. Completely not automotive related. I don't want to talk about it because I'm just going to do it. But well, hopefully next year. Hopefully next year, I'm going to invite everybody to do this. I think it would be great. I'd love to see everybody come do it because this is a fun thing that me and my family put together. And I'm going to do a video on it, and then I'll tell you more later about it. But anyways, I think it would be great. I'd love to see everybody come do it because this is a fun thing that me and my family put together. And I'm going to do a video on it, and then I'll tell you more later about it. But anyways, I think it would be great. I'd love to see everybody come do it because this is a fun thing that me and my family put together. What is going on here? Do a video on it, and then what in Harry Potter's
got their audio running.
What in Harry Potter's going on here?
Someone had their audio running on YouTube.
Not me.
Hey, correct, Dave. Were you watching YouTube?
It was Dave. Dave had his YouTube pop up.
I'm Googling.
Dave.
No, I'm Googling something.
Yeah.
I'm Googling. Ask some words he said.
Oh, SBD. I don't know what they call it. SBD, DBDM, whatever it is. I mean, that's for the weird guys. Weird people know that stuff. People that know that stuff make like weird stickers and stuff. Like they probably know that stuff really good.
Stop that.
Sorry, I couldn't help it. You know. I know.
You ain't never gonna go nowhere if people can't talk to each other.
Listen, I'm pretty low key when it comes to what I do. Okay, like I don't get near as choppy as some other stuff.
I ain't gonna bullshit you. That's questionable, Chad.
Really? All the stuff that I do compared to, come on now, it's pretty dicey.
Come on now, it's questionable.
Listen, I'm not gonna talk about it, but yeah, I'm just a smart ass. That's all there is to it. Okay, and you know what my daddy always said? Better to be a smart ass than a dumbass.
Yeah, better to be a smart ass than a dumbass.
Exactly.
I told that to a cop one time, and I ended up in jail for a couple days.
I've never ended up in jail because
I only ended up in jail because it was a Friday night, and they didn't do arraignments until Monday morning. So,
if you can't be the smartest guy in the room, you better be the funniest. Okay, that's all there is to it. You know. But anyways, nonetheless, yeah, car repair shit's just been an absolute disaster this week so far.
Yeah.
Nothing that really makes me excited. Plus, I've got a shitload of content that I need to create. I've got a shitload of new tools that I had a stack of shit on my door porch when I got home tonight. That was always fun. Stuff that I'd ordered for parts too. Like I've been getting parts in. Like I don't know how you guys been doing with parts, but I've finally been getting in parts that I've been waiting for weeks and some months. That's been a kind of a stress reliever.
I don't think I've been waiting for any parts for months, but I've waited for parts for a couple weeks.
I've had some shit that's just weird, odd stuff, you know, computer stuff, some PCMs, send some stuff out to get reprogrammed, you know, shit like that. Just takes time, you know, general BS.
I never have a problem with programming. I just call my boy. He shows up, programs it.
I send out LS computers to get programmed based on some swaps we did. So
my guy can do all that shit. All you just got to do is call him up. Comes over and he charges $150 plus, depending on what you need done.
Yeah, that's what this guy charges $100 to reprogram PCM based off of tire size.
$50 to walk in the door. He'll do a basic reprogram at $150, and anything more costs more.
Yeah.
That's what I charge.
I mean, if you fuck up all the time and you make wrong calls and you say, hey, you didn't flash it right, it didn't fix the car, he'll turn to you and say, no, you diagnosed it wrong, you put a module in it, it didn't need.
Yeah.
I did my job. You want me to diagnose it? It's $200.
Me and my cousin he did a 6-liter swap. Well, both of them did swaps on the K5 Blazers, and we did some tuning on them. That's why it had to be sent out. We had some stuff done. I need to learn how to use HB tuners better, but I don't know. You know what? I'm not so sure I really want to dink around with it.
No,
Those
I
guys
won't get involved in tuning.
Well,
It's as complicated and dangerous.
Well, those guys are so good at doing it. Like, it's almost stupid to even waste my time on doing it, because pay them a couple $100, they can do it, and it's really pretty simple. And a lot of those guys, so like I've already had to do it where they'll send me a file, and I just upload it, which is nice. From once you get it to them and get them tuned, they'll kind of mess with it with you right there and there. But these 2K5 Blazers are running pretty fucking good right now. So we worked on both of those for a month. Got that all sewed up. And I got a little motorcycle ride. That's what we're doing here next month. Motorcycle ride camping trip that I'd love to. I think I'm going to see if I can just turn this into a YouTuber meetup type deal. I think this would be cool. Just nothing automotive related. We're doing like trail bikes and like mid-sized bikes and dual sport bikes, and we're doing a ride, 100-mile ride up to a bar. We camp by the river, and then we ride home. It's an annual thing at the end of May. It's going to be awesome. I'm riding a 4-wheeler this year.
Cool.
I rode a motorcycle last year, but I'm going to ride a 4-wheeler this year. It's going to be a good time.
You never rode a 4-wheeler before?
Oh yeah, I've owned 6 4-wheelers, about 20 dirt bikes. I had a dual sport last year. I had a XR600, XR650, excuse me, and I sold it. I rode my Yamaha last year, but I had an XR650. That was my last dual sport. But I had that Yamaha I rode last year, at 800.
I haven't had a 4-wheeler since Grandma and Grandpa were still alive, and well, I shouldn't say it. I haven't had a 4-wheeler since I got divorced. And it's also when I went hunting.
It's just something different. It's fun. It's just
my 4-wheeler wasn't like a 4-wheeler to go get crazy with. It was a 4-wheeler, actual 4-wheeler. It was a workhorse.
Yeah, that's what this is. That's what I'm riding. And I got an Arctic Cat 500 4-wheel drive 4-wheeler. I'm gonna strap my radio to it, or strap my tent to it, strap my battery unit to it. What in Harry Potter is this?
That's an all Canadian made Westward digital torque wrench. Looks pretty beefy.
Looks a lot like a Duratec.
Not the cheapest torque wrench it is, but it's pretty beefy looking.
Is it cheaper than the Snap-on?
No, it's actually Snap-on. It's about at par with the Snap-on.
And that head looks. Oh, you know what? That's the same exact head as what the diehards are. You said that's all Canadian made?
All Canadian, made in Ontario.
That head kit's definitely Taiwanese.
No, that head type is actually the exact same head type that Gray has on that Gray Tools has on theirs. But you got to remember the Taiwanese copy everything American. So no. I thought I'd check them out because Westward makes the jacks that I buy, my transmission jacks, and I need to get a new 1.5 ton jack.
Where do they sell Westward stuff at Princess Auto?
Nope. You get them from parts stores and specialty shops, and most of it's all custom order and special order. No, this is stuff that you don't find on store shelves. No. Like you'd have to go through. God, out here, we'd have to order it from.
Wait a second. Is Westward the one that has the wrenches? They have those wrenches for dirt cheap.
Yeah, they've got those wrench packs. Those are actually, those are all stamped here in Canada, and they're affordable. They're not bad. They're not perfect. but they're not-
$135 for them. It says they're Taiwan made.
No, they're not Taiwan. They're all stamped in Canada. Canada has 6 wrench manufacturers. If they're labeling Taiwan, if they're labeled Taiwanese, then they're
Says
not
country of Oregon, Taiwan.
then they're not real Westwards.
I don't know. These ones say Westward 17-piece combination wrench set. I've looked at those before. They look like nice wrenches.
No. Westwards.
Wonder if there's a different kind of Westward.
If there's any skips in it, it's not a Westward set.
Let's see if this one says.
Taiwan. If it says made in Taiwan, it's not a Westward product.
Says 17-piece set. There's no skips. That's 1/4 inch all the way to 1.25 inch. 1/4, 5/16, 11/32, 3/8, 7/16, 1/2 inch, 9/16, 5/8, 11/16, 3/4, 13/16, 7/8, 15/16, 1 inch, 1 1/16.
And how much is it?
$135 on Zorro.
Nope, those aren't Westwards. I'm looking at that set right now on Westward's catalog. $285. Stamped in Quebec.
So I wonder where what kind of Westward. What's the difference between them?
They're probably probably someone literally mimicking cloning. They're not the only tools that are fake on Amazon. There are a lot of counterfeit tools.
Well, these are a Grainger. There's Zorro.
On YouTube. I mean, there's a lot of counterfeit on Amazon. There's a lot of counterfeit on eBay.
Yeah, there's a lot of counterfeits out there.
Let's see. Oh, interesting. Yeah, Grainger sells them. That's what Sergio just said.
Yeah,
there's a Westwood.
Grainger sells them. They sell the genuine ones.
But they're the same.
A lot of the stuff that I've ordered Westward on from like I've purchased some Westward off of Amazon and eBay. The stuff off eBay 100% isn't real because the replacement parts for the one jack that I have not even compatible with it. Not compatible with it at all.
Ones on Grainger say Taiwan too, though.
That's the thing. They're not Taiwan. I don't know why they're saying they're Taiwan. They're literally made in Quebec.
They look kind of like the Craftsman race panel on some. They have a polish set that I've seen. This isn't the exact same set, but this is the ones on Grainger are also in a blue plastic case, and they look kind of like race panel Craftsman. They're a little bit different than the other ones.
Yeah.
The ones that I seen that I thought were a decent wrench for the money were these ones are on Grainger too. What the hell? These look like polished. I don't understand it. There's a couple different. There's a different. They have ones in black cases and ones in blue cases.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, never know. Maybe Westward does have a lower quality brand that they're not putting in their catalog.
True.
Don't know. They might.
No, that's not uncommon to see. Like Williams does with their Cougar brand.
Yeah, true. Yeah, here they've got on here they've got two different ones. They've got a Korea made torque wrench that has the dial head.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a Korean made one, and then their Quebec one is the one that's on screen right now. And then they got another one that's got a dial head that says it's made in Korea. Open it. Let's see. Yeah, but they're almost the same, except for holy crap, does that head look weird? You know, post
Looks
that one.
like it's a sealed head, so I like that.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it's got a
serviceable head.
right.
You know. I'll show the other one.
I didn't know you liked head so much, CP.
What's that?
Maybe I heard it in their background wrong. I didn't know you liked head so
See.
much.
I do.
Here,
I do.
Dave put this one up on the screen. This is their cheapo Korean one.
Sorry, folks, but this thing's. I'm gonna fuck this. This outlet's out. It's gone. History. It holds nothing.
Hey, Dave.
Yes, sir.
I shared their Korean made one.
What's that?
I shared their Korean made one, their lower brand one. They have a torque wrench that's made in Korea, so CP can see the difference between quality.
I'm sure with you talking Korean, there's definitely a huge difference.
No, it's a different looking torque wrench altogether.
Zorro's got that westward torque wrench for $238.
Wow,
That's a smoking deal.
Well, that's probably US dollars too. Is that that's their angle with digital angle with
12 to 250 foot-pound. Looks like the exact same wrench, same head kit.
Yeah.
See,
in Canada, it's 800 some odd bucks.
My thing with it says inch pounds, Newton meter, torque range, 150 inch pounds to 3,000 inch pounds. Includes batteries. It's got an audible and visual. Got clockwise, counterclockwise. Yeah, 26 inch overall length. Adjustable, chrome. Doesn't say if it's got angle though on this.
Yeah, no, that's the angle one.
Yeah, it's a part number. What is the part number on this? My problem.
G2.
Yep, that's it. So
see, the rod and the spring is the rod and spring is made in Canada. The electronics are made in Taiwan.
That doesn't surprise me. I mean, you can't beat those guys when it comes to electronics. I mean, what was it they're trying to do here in America? What are they trying to bring back to make? Oh, the chips. I just read an article about the chips they're trying to manufacture here in America to get back to chip manufacturing.
Yeah, in Ohio.
Yeah, IBM was saying that they were going to open up again.
Mm-hmm.
Which wouldn't be bad because they still have the facilities here. They got that one facility down in the one in California there, and they got the one they have the one I think it's in Texas somewhere. They had one, and they got the one in Vancouver, and they're still there, and they still have all the equipment capable of doing the same thing. Why not?
Completely agree. We got to get to some sort of manufacturing where we got to get back to on our own feet because we're definitely
got to make laws if they want to import their products. A percentage of the product must be manufactured in our country.
See, America did that, and they raised tariffs on imports, and it just literally sent people over the edge. So I don't think that's the answer. I think the answer is that we just need to produce the shit here and not try to. We are a global economy anymore. Yeah. I mean, so do I hate everything that's made overseas? No. The problem is you're trying to be competitive. Everybody wants to pay a cheaper price. I mean, Harbor Freight's killing it. There's no doubt about it. You can hate it. I can hate it all I want. Anybody can hate it all they want. But at the end of the day, people are going to Harbor Freight because they don't want to pay money. I know guys that were hardcore Snap-on guys that are completely buying all Harbor Freight now. Because they're like, I'm not spending the money on it because, well, A, they're not professional mechanics anymore neither. So I can understand that, you know. But at the end of the day, are you going to go buy a set of, like, for instance, this kid the other day bought a $1,500 air hammer set because he got a free air hammer with it from the Snap-on truck. How stupid is that? He didn't need to spend that kind of money, but spent $1,500 because he got a free air hammer on that with that air hammer bit set.
Jesus Christ.
And I was like, dude, you could have bought a set of Mayhew bits, which are completely USA made bits, and bought yourself a decent IR hammer and saved for pennies on the dollar and been able to buy other tools that you needed. And now you're going to be bound into this Snap-on set. The set's great, and what he bought was great, but at the end of the day, was it great for him? No, it wasn't, because he can't afford it. That's my problem. And I straight up told him that. I said, I completely don't hate your purchase, but for $1,500, for $500, you could have bought everything you needed and had $1,000 to spend on something else, other tools you needed. It was just a dumb purchase.
Yeah. No. Oh well, it's his money.
I know, but that's the problem,
you can
though.
only give him advice. You can't make him.
And I completely agree with that. And that's exactly what I said to him. I said, you're already into it now, so I don't recommend returning it, because that's just bad juju when you do that. If you make a decision to make that purchase on the tool truck, you owned it. You know? You guys all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just catching up
I'm
on the
talking
chat.
to Frosty about he wants to know about a 40-inch Snap-on roll cart. I don't know exactly what model he's talking about. I haven't looked into him in a long time.
I just had 2 smoking deals on 2 Snap-on roll carts.
$2,250. I assume it's a brand new box off the Snap-on truck for $2,250 for the roll cart.
Right.
Interest free. Truck account.
Right.
Not a corporate account.
Can't beat that.
That's what I said. If you can afford it, you really want it that bad? I don't know. I don't know the prices.
Well, $2,250. I've seen those boxes retail. If you're going to spend $2,250 on that box, I've seen them retail for $1,100-$1,200. So that's what it's going to be worth once you buy it. Just saying. And if you buy a U.S. General tool cart, one of those $700 units, what's it worth? I guess it's all that boils down to what's your ROI on your investment if you need to get rid of it.
I don't really know if I always buy everything on what's my return on investment. Sometimes you just want something because you like it.
Right.
And if you can afford it, I don't know if that price is good or bad. But
It's pretty fair price. I think they list for $3,200.
I have no idea. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I told him to ask Cass or Jude. Maybe they know more than I do about the prices of them. I respect both their opinions. They both see the tool trucks consistently.
Oh,
I don't
dang,
know.
Dave.
I haven't priced out a toolbox, a roll cart, not a toolbox, but a roll cart. I haven't priced out a tool cart in years.
Well, I can tell you from experience of selling, being a dealer, that 50% is what they pay for them usually. So a KRS for the 32 is listed at $2,000 list price on it. But a KRS C42, which is the 40, is list price of $2,280. So buying it at $2,280 is retail price on it. So,
46.
huh?
I guess he's talking about a 46.
46. What would a 46 be? A 43? A 46? They don't even make a 40. KRS is they make a 32 and a 40.
You threw up KRS.
Oh, your KRS C46 is the one that's $2,280. Yes, that's a 40-inch wide cart.
That's what he said it was, a 40.
Yeah.
I have no idea what it retails for.
Retail is $2,280.
But he's giving it to him on a truck account, interest free.
But
It's a brand new box.
I think you could haggle him down a little bit.
You might, but I don't know if Rossi's situation. He says
Yeah,
you
it's
can
cool.
box the tools in. So if you like it that much, you can afford it. I say do what you want to do.
Absolutely. For that kind of money, you're not going to get hurt, really. I mean, it's quality box made here in Iowa.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing about the Snap-on roll carts, I will say, is those size roll carts are pretty reasonably priced. A Matco Jamestown is more money, and it's not any better built. A little bit deeper, maybe. And the locking system is complete trash on them. My Maximizer is like $3,500 now, which is a huge box. And I will say that it's so big, a 40-inch would be all I'd want to get because 40 inches are a lot more usable. Anything bigger than a 40 inches, you're just swinging too much meat around.
Said Frosty, if money's tight or you're worried about anything, I would honestly go with that full drawer roll cart U.S. General before I'd spend the $2,280. But I mean, if you get your heart set on a Snap-on box and you can afford it, I'm nobody to tell you what to do with your money. I just say that Snap-on guys can give it to you interest free. He's doing you a favor. Just don't screw him. These will never hook you up again.
Them new Harbor Freight carts are pretty. I think they're down to like $600 or something like that.
I don't give a shit what the price of them is. They're definitely there's no cart on the market that beats them.
$4.99 for the 30. They're the 34-inch cart. Full
Nobody
bank
on the
service.
market beats them. Bang for the buck.
No, they're on sale right now for $4.99. They're 34-inch full bank service cart.
Weren't
And that is
$6.99?
huh?
Weren't they originally $6.99?
$5.99 is original price.
I wonder if they're coming out with a new series.
Well, they got the Series 2 or Series 3 they just released on the car on the toolbox.
I didn't know about a Series 3 cart.
No, they might be. Who knows? I don't keep.
Abnormal for Harbor Freight on something like that.
I keep up with Harbor Freight about as well as I do a lot of things.
Yeah, we know this.
I could care less normally. But when somebody asks me, you know, when they say they only got a couple $100 to spend, I always say, well, you're not going to beat a Harbor Freight cart for the money. I don't personally like them because they don't hold together, but I mean, it is what it is.
What do you mean a Harbor Freight cart don't hold together?
If you're dragging them around the shop like mine, that was the biggest problem I had with mine is when I'm dragging around the shop and you have uneven concrete or don't have like a completely smooth surface, you have to constantly tighten the bolts up because they would never. I put Loctite on them. I tried everything. The metal's really thin. The box, once you get it loaded up, it tends to work itself loose. It wallers out the holes because it's such thin metal that it holds on. So if it's a stationary toolbox, it's fine. But they're not meant to be moved around a bunch. That's what I had. That's why I got rid of mine. I built that Franken cart where I built it where it's double stacked, and it just literally, it started to walk itself apart. That's the only reason I got rid of it. And I got exactly out of it what I had into it. So I said, and then I bought that Jamestown for $400, and then I traded it. I mean, I literally did.
I worked with a tech that's had that 5-drawer Harbor Freight cart. And he's got pretty well loaded. I'm trying to think how many, about 7 years. And he rolls around the shop all freaking day long. And that thing is gold still.
I had a lot of tools in mine too.
But it's only 5-drawer. He didn't add to it.
No, I did add to it. I added that whole bottom half to it. I modified mine too.
Yeah, I saw the video.
Yeah. So maybe that was part of the reason why it wasn't holding together very well.
My dog's barking. 1 second. Entertain yourselves. It should be entertaining.
Just doesn't hold enough. Yeah. They are you run out of space in them a lot if you're using them as a main toolbox. I can see that.
Yeah, I got lucky. I finally found a 72 by 30 inch tool cart that I like at Canadian Tire. 16 gauge steel. I was actually shocked to find one in Canada for a decent price. Jesus.
Can't beat that. Whatever makes you happy is all that matters. You know?
Well, it looks pretty damn heavy duty. It almost looks like it's pretty solid quality, but for the price they're charging for it, it better be. Because that's the thing. There's no real good toolbox providers up here. Like we got one custom manufacturer, but they're a 1-year waiting list right now.
My other real big complaint with, which I don't believe the Snap-on is lifetime warranty neither, but is the let's actually look here before I speak about this. But the Harbor Freights only have a 90-day warranty, and I actually just had a guy that sent me a message, and he said, "Hey, I've got a Harbor Freight toolbox, and some of the drawer slides are breaking, and I want to know if you know anybody that can get parts." And I said, I certainly don't, but I said I would contact Harbor Freight. If you can't get parts for those boxes and they're only 90-day and they don't want to sell you parts to repair them, that is definitely a bummer. If let's say you had a drawer failure or anything like that, that would be something that would really, that's my only big problem. That would be my biggest qualm with buying most stuff. I haven't seen a ton of this, but this guy is supposed to be getting back to me. And if he can get replacement parts for his U.S. General box, I will definitely give them props for that. But if he can't, that would definitely be a sour apple on my behalf. But the Snap-ons don't say that they're lifetime warranty on the carts. They say they're field repairable, which generally means they probably have a 1-year warranty. So that's something to think about when you are buying a cart. If you ever have to replacement parts, I can tell you that having support for that is a definite bonus. Being able to fix something that breaks. Oh, okay. JWC says they sell extra parts, so there you go. That would be something that would definitely. Oh, he was just speaking fast.
Who's speaking fast?
When Sarah was talking, he had a little chipmunk going on.
There, let's see if my audio is fixed.
Yeah, it's
now.
No, it's still doing it. You're fast.
I think Sarah's suffering from a lack of speaking.
It's because I've got my laptop cordless right now.
He's used to talking and fucking with everybody, and he's been so quiet. He's probably coughing because he's been so quiet.
So what else you been working on, Dave?
What do you mean? I just stormed out 9 cars tonight.
9 cars tonight?
Yeah, some of it was small shit, some of it was bigger shit,
You're an animal.
some of it was just oil changes. I'm just trying to catch up.
Like,
I mean, my oil changes. I don't even think I get paid. I don't get paid for oil changes.
yeah, that's funny that you say that because several shops I've been going to stopped doing oil changes because they weren't making any money on them. And these LOF places, have you seen? I don't know if you guys have those up there, but we have this LOF place here. It's lube oil filter, and they are literally costing. They are so dirt cheap that you can't even compete with them. So the shop's like, we don't do oil changes anymore.
No, it's part of my dealership company. I'll get
Is
paid.
anything? Am I still a chipmunk?
A little bit. It's kind of. I think it's kind of funny, but I mean,
No, it's my laptop power saving mode. It drives me crazy. Darker type.
oh, by the way, I seen your press there, Sarah. That thing's pretty sweet.
Yeah. My little press stand that you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually pretty handy. I had a little DIY homemade thing that I welded up. But hey, for $130, it's actually pretty tough and pretty solid. And that there's a Princess Auto made in Taiwan block of steel. But it's heavy. It is a heavy little unit. It's about 38 pounds just for the base.
It's going to be interesting.
Plug me back in. Plug me back in. Where?
Why can't I get your 8-man 009 off the fucking bottom of the list?
Huh?
I can't get your 8-man.
Because you got the comment up on the screen.
What comment?
The Shannon Dickerson comment.
Oh,
Gee, thanks, Shannon. Thanks. That looks like crap.
thank you, Shannon.
Thanks. Jesus. Love you too, Shannon. Sheesh.
Well, hey, I'm learning. That's why I fuck around with this shit late at night. That way, only certain people see what a fucking dumbass I become when it comes to. Well, I'm not. I'm good at computers. I'm just not good with this. I'm using an app right now. I gotta go buy a new PC. Gotta go buy a new
Hey, Dave.
Asus laptop.
Hey, Dave. I figured out why my Radcat test fitting didn't fit on that frigging Chrysler. It had some really cheap aftermarket replacement. The T in there. Some really cheap aftermarket unit that just there is no actual size for it. Even the cap doesn't fit on it properly.
So it was standard like pressure tester should have fit on.
Yeah,
That's why I
went and got an OEM one, put it on there.
There's no way
problem.
they built something that special for Canada.
Nope.
No, Chrysler
No,
wouldn't go that far.
some cheap Chinese knockoff parts. So I got an OEM.
I ran across that one.
It's fine.
I have this. I call it a piece of shit, but it comes in handy at times. It's I don't know even know who makes it, but it's got a bladder.
Yeah.
With a cap thing, and you can like fan the bladder.
Yeah.
It might blow off on you, so when you're realizing it, you stand away.
No, I just went down to Chrysler and got the right one, and it worked. My fitting fits perfectly. So, and thank God there is no coolant leaks or pressure loss. It holds pressure perfectly fine. So, but I just gotta find I gotta buy a Mopar cam locking block.
Buy what?
gotta buy a special the locking block for the cam
Why?
because I don't have one that fits in my universal kit.
You don't need to lock it.
Yes, I do, because sometimes I get distracted, Dave, and then I come back later and I forget.
Now, just make sure when you slip it on, you move shit the right way and make sure the marks all line up.
Yeah,
I
but
don't have a special locking kit for that engine.
I want the fancy tool. I just want the fancy tool. Stop ruining my excuse to buy
You
another
want the
tool.
fancy tool, then you drink Bud Light.
The universal holder doesn't fit it.
No, I've got a kit, but no, it was a cheap Chinese knockoff part, and even the rad cap that came with it didn't fit it properly. So I replaced it with an OEM Mopar part, and my test kit fits it perfectly fine.
That must be some cheap ass shit.
Yeah,
I guess it's either 10330 cap or 10331.
Yeah.
Maybe even 10332.
Yeah.
A standard fucking radiator pressure tester, like a stamp.
Yeah.
You should just connect to it, pressurize it.
Well, I've seen some of those Chinese caps that are basically eggs. They're not even round.
This thing was just garbage.
Have you ever seen such a thing, CP?
I have the original USA stance, so I don't have any.
Have you ever seen where that wouldn't work on like a Dodge Avenger? The one
I use a universal one.
No, the radiator cap that's in the hose. It's just a standard cap.
Oh yeah, the one that's in the inline.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little one.
That's one that nothing would fit on it.
Right, the little one, the real tiny one.
What little tiny one?
The one on the inline one you're talking about, like on the Dodge Avenger, where it's got the smaller cap.
No, it's a regular cap.
It's a regular cap. It's there's two lines that go across the top,
right,
over the top of the rad, and then there's a little T in there. And that T has a it's supposed to be a standard cap, but whatever the idiot replaced it with was hell knows what, and where it came from hell knows, but nothing fit the dang thing. Nothing.
I'll be honest with you. I enjoy using the universal rubber adapter where you just push it in, and then you turn the screw.
I got some of those plugs, but my smallest plug won't fit in that hole.
Okay. Well, I got two plugs. One's a bigger and one's a smaller.
When it comes to small vehicles, I've got limited pressure
and
fittings.
Now I have the Master Cool. Now I have the Master Cool Master set too. So I haven't had any adapter caps that haven't fit because it's all updated. But I have like $500 in stamp cap adapters.
Well, it don't take much to add up.
No, they're stupid. They're stupid money. Each one of those cap adapters is like $100.
You have the bladder kit I'm talking about?
The what?
The bladder radiator tester kit. The bladder. Put down there, you put the cap on it.
Yes. Needs screw. Yeah.
That's a questionable piece of that's a questionable unit.
They wear out though.
That's the unit. You got to make sure it doesn't like pop up and blow up on you.
Right. That's why I hold my hand on it usually and like pump it. Because I'm always scared it's going to do that. It doesn't. It holds into the tanks pretty decent, but it doesn't hold into the radiators all that great. But I use that same. I also have a universal one for my coolant refiller too, and I do the same thing. But that one fits a lot better on my coolant refiller.
Let's see who's all in here right now. You got Champ. We got Turner, CP, and Tarek. Tarek sounds like he's cooking.
Digging the trench.
Digging a trench, or did you kill the neighbor again, Tarek?
I can't tell you.
Oh.
Maybe just the cat.
Maybe just the cat.
Don't even go there. I'm still getting shit about that.
Well,
God,
don't
I'm
let the
loving my discounted Identifix, Dave. I'm loving my discounted Identifix.
Dave just
I went home. I came home like 2 years ago. 2 years ago now. I came home one night, sitting on the couch, eating shit with my mom, my daughter, and my youngest daughter goes upstairs and she goes, "Dad, get up here!" I'm like, "What is it? A spider?" And she goes, "No, Dad, come up here. Seriously, now come up here." My mom moved in and she had this not an old cat, but it was like a Garfield. It was a big fat cat. And she's like, I went upstairs and like, "Where's the freaking spider at?" And she's like, "There's no spider." She goes, "Dad, look it." And the cat's like playing like he's all like so comfortable, you know. And I went over and I just like bumped it, and I'm like, "That's a stiffy."
Yeah. He's comfortable. He's comfortable because he's no longer with us.
I'm like, "He's a stiffy." He's big. He's big. He's big, Turk. He was heavy. He's like 30, 35 pounds, man. And
Oh, he really was like Garfield.
yeah, I said to my youngest daughter, I said, "Go get that little blanket that Grandma keeps wearing at the end of Daddy's bed. The blanket I keep picturing without." I said, "Go get it." She goes, "Why?" I said, "I'm gonna wrap him up in it. I'm gonna take him out and throw him in the fucking trash can. And put him in the bag and throw him in the trash can." And my daughter's like, "That's not humane." I'm like, "He's dead already." So I'm bringing him downstairs, and all of a sudden my mom's like, "What do you have?" Like,
Nothing.
I'm like, "Nothing." And all of a sudden, she hears, it slipped out of my hand, the towel or the blanket slipped out of my hand. She hears this big boom, and she goes, "What's going on?" I said, "Mom, I just left the cat laying on the floor in the towel." I walked over to the blanket. And I walked over to her and I said, "I got good news and I got bad news." She goes, "What's the bad news?" I said, "The fat cat's dead." She goes, "What do you mean my fat cat's dead?" I said, "He was up there. He was a stiffy." She goes, "What's the good news?" "Well, you don't have to buy more food." And she goes, "What are you going to do with them?" I said, "I was going to just throw them in a trash bag, put them in the trash, and then pick them up on Sunday." "You can't do that to my cat." And she goes, "Plus, with your luck, when the trash guys pick it up, they'll find it, and you'll get charged for animal, cruelty and all this stuff."
Well,
So
I think some cities have an ordinance against throwing
that's
animals
true.
animals away.
You are correct. But they also have an ordinance against you digging a hole and burying them in your backyard.
Yes.
And I just
Yes.
thought to myself, I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to lie to anybody in the YouTube community. My grandparents had a farm. We had cats all over the place. Sometimes you start the tractor up and you hear, "Yeah." Well, that was the last of that cat.
Yeah. We got rid of cats all the time on the farm.
Talk about, start up that Chevy truck. "Meow." Or squirrel. You never know.
The difference between the city and the country is idiots live in the city and people that are normal live in the country.
God, I'm glad I live in the city. But anyway, I'm out. So I agree with my mom. Do it the way I was taught on the farm. And she goes, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to dig a hole." "Well, you're not allowed to bury him in the backyard." I said, "Mom, nobody's going to fucking accumulate him." We pushed it all away. It's like 1:30 in the morning. So I'm out there and I'm on hard clay. I'm out there, dig a hole, dig a hole, dig a hole, dig a hole. Get the hole so deep. Got the cat in there, cover him up, blah, blah. The mom comes out, says her thing to the cat, cover him up. And she's like, she says, "Do you think I'll come back out?" I'm like, "You gotta stop watching movies, man. This ain't no Pet Cemetery."
Yeah. You let her get another cat after that?
Yeah, I got 3 cats in the house and 2.
Well, you have that Maine Coon.
Yeah, I got 3 cats in the house and 2 dogs. Or 2
Yeah.
puppies. 2 puppies. And one of these puppies is going to get their ass kicked. I never thought she could jump so fucking high. This cat, this dog from a standstill can easily go 4.5 foot high.
Is that the golden retriever?
No, it's the freaking. She's supposed to be Great Pyrenees collie mix.
Oh, but the collie.
The golden retriever ain't much better.
No, but the collies are. I had a collie growing up. They were hype. She was hyper, and she could jump real high. She could clear a 5 foot fence, no problem.
Oh, this dog can too. The golden retriever is just a freaking stocky, bully little fucker. I mean, if you put a gate up, she doesn't try to jump it. She just knocks it down. Like, I'm going through this. I laugh at her. She's cute as hell. She is cute by the day.
One of my labs is a bulldozer, and then the other one jumps everything. So if they work together, if the one can't jump over it and get the bigger one through, then the bigger one just dozes through it and lets the other one through.
My collie Great Pyrenees mix is Peter Pan.
Is what?
My collie Great Pyrenees mix puppy thinks is Peter Pan. I mean, when the 2 puppies start running around the house, I'd watch her like just fly through the air and like over like a what do you want to call that? L-shaped couch. Just flies across it, and the little puppy's like, "Where'd she go? Where'd she go?" Because she's older than the golden retriever. Little puppy's like, "Where'd she go?" And my mom gets so pissed. I laugh my ass off at it. I'm like, "That's fucking funny as hell. I cannot believe she can jump like that." Don't egg her on. I'm like, "How am I egging her on?" You're laughing at her. She thinks it's funny too. I didn't know dogs could understand a human laugh.
They can understand a lot more than people think.
Well, I know what horses understand. They know when they got a fucking person on them that is afraid of them.
Yeah, most animals know when people are afraid of them.
You could take the meanest dog in the world, and I bet I could walk carefully and slowly right up to it, and it'll be calm.
Now, I've thought that before, and I was wrong.
Well, you got to watch Crocodile Dundee a little bit more.
When he got the water buffalo to lay down. That's what.
I get the damn water buffalo laid down.
Back in the day, there was an exotic auction called Lolly Brothers. Well, it's still around, but they did an exotic auction, and a guy tried to pull that same Crocodile Dundee shit on a water buffalo, and it killed him in the ring at Lolly Brothers. That's a fact. He's like, "Oh, this water buffalo is so tame," and he got in the ring, and he was like, "I'll show you how to lay it down," and it killed him. They couldn't get it off of him. Animals react differently when they are in the fight or flight mode. So, like, I don't ever take them for granted. Even when it's a nice dog, sometimes, if they get startled or spooked, they'll still resort to their wild instinct.
I have to say, Tarek does the strangest things at the strangest hour of the day.
Yep.
Right now, it's what?
This is typical for me. If it's nice weather, I do something. If I'm awake, I'm doing something.
It's only 11 p.m. where you're at, right, Tarek?
Yeah. This is why I moved out of the city, so I can do what I want when I want.
Yeah.
I live in the city, so I can go where I want and get something quick and get back home.
There is something said for that.
I just don't work there yet. When I retire, I will be good.
I mean, I'm not too far away from stuff. I'm like about 30 minutes outside of Portland.
Portland?
Yeah.
Really?
And then
Hey, Derek, did you get your free water and empty it out and sell the bottles?
It's funny, is that something that's been happening for a long time. It's just become a lot more popular now because now the return is 10 cents versus 5. And so you get the water paid for your with your government food stamps, and then you go dump it all out, and you get your $3 for the dump out a few cases, you get your $10, and then you get your fentanyl and your heroin and your drugs that have been decriminalized.
Yep. It's ridiculous. It's retarded.
Well, they're already working. Like in Seattle, they were the first ones to decriminalize the drugs, and they're already walking that back. And I bet within the next year or so, both states will change that, because it's basically made these homeless camps open air drug markets. But they finally are doing something about cleaning up these camps and all that kind of stuff. And they're cleaning up these camps, and they're replacing it with like giant boulders and stuff, so they can't come back. But it's still nonsense. Like, half.
They get free housing. There's tons of free housing for them.
The problem is they don't want to follow the rules. They don't want the curfews. They don't want to go and look for jobs. They don't want the drug and alcohol testing, all that kind of stuff. So, and a lot of people, like, I was watching this interview with this guy that came from Billings, Montana. And he literally said when he got out of jail, Billings, Montana gave him a one-way bus ticket to be homeless in Portland, because it was easier for him. And I've heard that quite a bit. And they come here because it's, our quote unquote camping laws are so lax inside the metro area. Yeah. But a lot of cities have decided that they don't want anything to do with that. And now, how Walmart, a lot of Walmarts allow overnight camping on their premises and stuff. Well, a lot of cities have shut that down, where they're no longer allowing open air camping like on parks and stuff like that. So they actually patrol the Walmarts at night when the Walmarts are getting ready to close, and they tell them, hey, you got to pack your crap, but you can't. Even though Walmart allows it, this city doesn't allow it, and you got to get going to the next place.
I call that bullshit, because the Walmarts here before COVID, all my Walmarts were open 24 hours, 24/7, and whether you're a camper, just some fucking guy that wanted to sleep in their lot tonight, or a truck driver, Walmart allowed you to stay in their parking lot as long as you were not in the front of their parking lot.
Yes, they had a designated, like, a lot of them have like designated spots, like in the back nine.
Ordinances that the truckers, campers, nobody can stay there. I call that that's bullshit.
Speaking of Walmart, I thought it was interesting.
To do that. Not that I like Walmart, not that I support Walmart, but I mean, if a company wants to do that and give somebody an easy option. I mean, they're open 24/7. They got restrooms. They got a bathroom. They got running water. You can go brush your teeth in there. I don't know if I'd brush my teeth in there, but I mean, you want to go take a piss. You want to go buy a fucking frozen dinner and cook it up. I think they even have a microwave available somewhere in their stores, most of them. I mean, they got shit. I mean, they're giving you a safe option to rest for the night if you can't afford to go elsewhere, or you don't want to go elsewhere.
Well, I know a lot of YouTubers that were doing the whole, traveling the country, living out of vans and stuff. They were banking on stopping at Walmarts and having that overnight experience where they didn't have to pay to like stop at KOAs or campgrounds and, pay all these ridiculous fees for hookups and all that kind of stuff. And now that's not really available in a lot of cities. But it was interesting. I was in Walmart the other day looking for a cheap car battery, and I thought it was interesting because they no longer say that they are distributed by Johnson Control. They now say that they are distributed by Clarios out of South Korea. They're no longer USA made batteries.
That's interesting because they just built a huge plant here in Clarion, Iowa from Deca.
If you're still on Frosty, all you need to do is start with a small cart. I would not invest myself into a $2,300 Snap-on cart. It's just clear or not. I'm sorry I missed that comment. I just went on notice. wouldn't invest in a $2,200 car if right now all you're doing is the general service end of it. First, find out if you even like it. And I'm sure if you continue to do what you're doing, you're not going to like that end of it. You're going to want to go way further than what you're doing.
Corridon. I'm sorry, it was Corridon. That's the East Penn plant, though. That's not Johnson Controls.
That's not to put it on a Frosty. I would be careful. I would spend as little as possible until I knew I would want to stay into it.
Yeah, you can't lube stuff anymore. They took that away from us.
It doesn't matter about the lubing.
Oh, sure it does. Wheel bearings wouldn't be near the issue if they had lube points. Half the wheel bearings that I've done are all just destroyed because they're dry and they corroded. I mean, have you ever noticed that when you pull wheel head bearings?
I got you, Frosty. Yeah, but you know the problem you have today with the lubable wheel bearings? The guys that are looped, I shouldn't say it.
The what?
I shouldn't say what I was going to say.
Oh, why not?
Fuck it. Why not?
Yeah.
90% of guys that you would hire to do that position, that you would ask to lube every greasable point properly. And how do you properly grease a wheel bearing? How do you properly grease a kingpin?
Generally, I would.
Not only do they skip it, they don't know how to properly grease it.
Yeah, but generally, it's not that difficult. I mean, we were doing it for years. I mean, it's not like people became so dumb over the years. It's just that people lacked training. You used to be able to used to train people, and we stopped training people. You know,
I can't say there's a wrong way to say like an old kingpin. Well, I should say old kingpin. I just haven't dealt with them in years.
well, you are. So I mean,
way to grease a kingpin. How would you grease a kingpin?
I'd grease it until I seen some grease come out.
That's not how I do it. I grease it a little bit, and then I turn it this way, grease it a little bit more, turn it the other way, grease it a little bit more. Once I see all the grease oozed out,
That's how I was taught.
back and forth.
That's how I was taught.
What's your opinion, Turner?
On tractors and stuff like that. That's
back and forth.
What was that?
Kingpins. How do you grease a kingpin? You
Well, it
just
depends on the
greasing it,
kingpin.
call it a day, or you
That's-
grease it a little bit, turn it, grease it a little bit, turn it the other way, grease it a little bit.
Well, if you have access to it, grease it and turn it. Always grease and turn it. But some kingpins you don't have the access,
Yeah.
or you have too much tension on it to rotate it. So you got to start the truck up and turn the steering wheel manually. But yeah, typically you'd want to grease and turn.
what vehicles do have kingpins now, though? Really?
A lot of all heavy, all class 7 and 8 trucks do.
Right. Trucks do,
But like the new Super Duties don't, but the Chevys do.
but they still have greasable.
F600s,
They still have greasable kingpins. Whereas I think I was basically talking about cars with wheel head bearings and stuff like that. There's no greasable points on most of the control
they're
arms.
not non-serviceable components. But
Right.
you can get a needle. You can use a needle and grease with a needle if you want to. You don't have to. Like
I usually grease with the needle, right here. Moving.
like that. That's the thing is I get a lot of those non-serviceable parts and I'll grease them like the
I
U
did all that
joints. I'll pop
Project
the U,
Farm
I'll take
testing.
the U joints out. I'll pull them apart, put some grease in them, roll them, stick them back in. Like
A couple years back, there was somebody that was supposed to be coming out with some sort of
Project Farm is wrong. Project Farm is wrong. I've
What's
greased myself. I've greased myself. And Mobile One, full synthetic, still is better than Lucas. At least in my opinion.
I like Lucas and Mobile One, so it's like they're both great to me. Use them in conjunction with each other, and you can't go wrong.
You're so serious about it, CP.
What do you mean?
You're so serious about it. I was joking about that.
Oh.
I don't give a fuck about the grease. I hardly ever grease any car. Just grease trucks.
Yeah.
But
Well, I feel that the wheel bearing issues are definitely because they should have done some sort of greasable. There's supposedly a couple years back there was a guy that was trying to come out with some sort of application for greasable joints or greasable wheel bearings
What wheel bearing issues are you talking about?
on any hub
wheel
bearings.
bearings.
Fords, I mean, you name it. Jams, Fords, I mean, all the hub bearings.
Like,
I
at what
just-
mileage are you seeing yourself changing them?
What's that?
Like, on average, what mileage range are you seeing yourself having to change?
Oh, probably 100,000. I'd say any car with 100,000 feels.
What
I
are you
feel like
bitching about? What are you bitching about? It lasts 100,000.
never used to be. Never used to
I
seem to be.
remember when it used to be when you had to pack them in 1979, 1980s, 1988, and all that stuff, and none of those cars.
Probably because the biggest thing is, I guess, is
Or somebody got rid of them and got a new car.
maybe that's the thing is because mileage has gone up on cars, see more failure rates on them. But
When you're talking about, they were all rear wheel drive for the most part. So they had full solid axles.
right,
They had lubrication.
yeah, but front wheel bearings were still
The fronts were all tapered wheel bearings with, rotors that had races in them, and you greased them and packed the grease in them and all that. But I'll be honest with you, my experience as a mechanic, most of those cars didn't make it that much longer than 100,000 miles before people said, "Oh, fuck this thing, I'm getting rid of it."
Well, the fact of the matter is that if they had grease in them, most of them when I tear them apart, the grease that's when they fall apart, and there's no grease, and the bearings are worn bad, and I feel like they could have been saved and prolonged the life of them.
Well, of course, the manufacturer could probably make a sealed unit that would last the equivalence in a lab test of 300,000 miles. But that's not good business for them in the end. You wouldn't like it if it lasted that long, so never bitch about it. It's money for us.
It's like appliances and anything else this day. It's
my appliances only last like 10 years now.
Even if you have something under warranty and you have a repairman come out, he'll tell you this stuff is only designed to last 5 years. If you got 10 years out of it, you did good. It's not designed. It's not like great grandma's old Kenmore. It's not stuff just isn't designed to last 30 years anymore.
I'm still using a washer and dryer that's definitely 20 years old.
It's a microwave that lost its circuit board. What do you do with it? You throw it down?
Oh, I throw it away. Well, that's just it. The microwaves they've been junk since they were never built well when they first started. They've been getting better.
What do you do with the flat screen TV unless you're your own
I
electronics?
still got one because I won't get rid of it because it still works.
I'm saying, if you have a new TV and it goes to shit and it's not under warranty anymore.
Oh, I already had one of those happen too.
you
Got a
throw it
brand new 32-inch Insignia that lasted 2 years. Threw it right out in the trash. I understand there's certain things, but I mean, I don't beat on my stuff, I guess, and so I don't look at it like that. If I can service it and fix it and keep it going, But like my Chevy truck, even I had to replace wheel bearings on it because the ABS sensors were getting crusted up. The wheel bearings weren't even really bad. It's because the ABS sensors were getting rusted, so the tone rings were shit in them. I mean,
That is correct. The comment I just threw up, I don't know how to say it. Lizer, you are correct. Because America's gotten lazy, and so has the manufacturers. So everything's done for ease. And everything's also designed for lifespan because there's no profit in a lifetime lifespan.
Well,
Like
why make some?
I love how manufacturers say trans fluid's good for life. Well, what's the life?
Right.
They can't give you an answer. The life is once it's out of warranty.
Well, and also, like, why make something that lasts 20, 30 years when you can make it last 5, and you know someone's going to buy 2 to 3 of them in that lifespan over one?
I like my shit to last, like my tools. I buy something good, make it work forever. If that's the case, then I guess that would go the same with anything. Then why even spend the money on quality? Get something that works for a couple of years and buy a new one.
Well, when it comes to electronics, that's where you're at.
Oh,
You said-
definitely. My phone's already outdated and it's 2 years old.
No, you just contradicted yourself though. You said you buy something that lasts for a lifetime.
Right.
Why buy it? And I just said, well, electronics. you
Some
can't-
things we're forced to, though. With electronics, you're forced to, just like scan tools. They're outdated after 2 years. Almost all electronics. I mean, just like T said with TVs, there's certain things that that are not able to upgrade because they come out with technology so fast for them. I mean, in the last 20 years, let's be honest, the technology is what's really pushed some things into the realm of being disposable.
Nobody has any idea, unless you're friends with engineers that work with the big automotive companies. Nobody has any idea what they're working hardcore on electric to please the
Right.
government.
Right.
But most people have no idea what they're really working hardcore on because it's the smartest idea.
Well, those electric cars, are disposable because you know that lithium-ion batteries are not going to last forever. So it's pretty much a given when you buy those cars that you know that at some point they're going to be trash.
So what are they working on? To replace our fossil fuels by 2050.
Well, apparently electric is the big push because GM.
No, they're spending a shit ton of fucking technology and money into one area.
Well, that GM literally got rid of Cadillac so they could do all EV, and they were guaranteeing that they were going to get rid of a lot of vehicles, be all EV. So they definitely are dumping a lot of money into EV stuff.
They're dumping even more money, the smart companies, into hydrogen
Well,
technology.
and if that comes to fruition, then that'll be great. But I mean, do we see any hydrogen cars on the road right now? We see EV.
No, I'm just saying that's what they're working hardcore on to be able to put out by 2050 or sooner is actual workable hydrogen vehicles because they will produce nothing but water. That's what they'll exhaust is water.
That'll be great if they come out with it. I mean, I'm all on board for change.
That's what the engineers are working on.
I understand.
The only problem is storage of it in the vehicle.
Yeah.
They're working on it. That's all I can say. That's what they're really working on.
Yeah,
They're also working on battery technology and EVs. I'm not gonna. I mean, that's a given. But
for the hydrogen, it's a safe fuel cell. Is going to be the hardest.
exactly, fuel cell technology. You just said it right there. Fuel cell technology. I should have worded it differently.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you for correcting me. It's fuel cell technology is what they're really working hardcore on.
Yeah.
Because it's the most feasible, most green, most friendly thing they can do.
It's
That
just
they
making
know
those
how to
fuel.
do, that they know how to do right now. They already know how to do it. Now it's making it feasible to drive a truck with it
It's to actually be able to drive with it, and then also make the fuel cells actually safe. So that they're not basically mini atom bombs in a vehicle collision. That's really those are the two hard parts: making it so a vehicle runs properly, and then that they're actually safe. And then they also, and then the other part is that they can't be tampered with and used in bad ways.
Are they going to replace combustion vehicles in the next 5 years? I highly doubt it.
Oh, you already know they're not going to do it. Why would what's his name, Larry?
Why is GM working on one of the best?
What's his name? Dan O'Leary, or they're multi-billionaires in the United States, and they're building like a couple oil plants, oil refineries in the United States.
Right.
Is it,
Well, even if we didn't have combustion vehicles, fossil fuels will still play a major role in our day-to-day lives, just with plastics and things like that we'll still need it. Eventually, I know they want to go to like soy-based plastics and stuff like that, but even if we don't have combustion vehicles, we'd still need fossil fuel for a long time.
Oh my God, different dry skin. I'm sorry about that, guys.
Nothing. We're not getting rid of it.
EVs are fine for short trips. Well, you can do a pretty good trip with a small EV. You just better make sure you don't have any excessive weight in it or be trying to pull a load with it. They already proved that with the Ford and the Chevy EV.
Right.
They went like pulling 4,000-pound trailers. I don't think either one of them made 130 miles.
Now, the one they tried to take from Denver to Colorado Springs was a joke.
It was a complete joke, but there's always a lot of jokes out there. I don't know how accurate that testing was that they did, but
I mean, they pulled a truck and a trailer. I mean, what's there to not be accurate about it? I mean, could they have gained a few more miles here and there? Could they have?
All I'm saying is you can't believe everything you see on YouTube.
I tend to believe that 120, 130, let's even say 150 is still pretty reasonable for what they were doing. I mean, the generalization.
They probably won't go very far.
I think there's always a little bit of rationality that you have to put into anything that you watch on the internet. As far as
watch
that testing.
If you're Republican, or not to bring politics into it, if you're Republican or Democrat, you can watch the news or you can watch YouTube. And Tucker Carlson's a fucking jackass.
That's why politics is a joke, because everybody.
Well, I'm saying, but why is it not on national TV, but it's on YouTube? Because they're allowed to bullshit on YouTube with ease, and
there's
national TV.
Nobody suffers.
National TV, especially certain networks, you got to be real careful right now because they just spend.
They don't suffer any consequences for anything they do. I mean, you watch Fox News or CNN, either one of them.
$85 million lawsuit that they got slammed with. I know it's chump change to them, but
yeah, exactly. They don't care. I mean, everything's clickbait for them. You think that YouTube was the first start of this, but media has done this for years, where they have started fires and held no responsibility. I mean, when they don't show stuff or they talk about stuff, it's so they can get the whole thing stirred up. That's all there is to it. Louis' Garage was pretty funny. I don't think I've seen that. I take everything at, it's your responsibility to do your own research at the end of the day. And most smart people will do their own research and find their own, they can come to their own conclusions. The other people that jump blindly, they just follow. Pulling a Model A in a trailer that shit into the jokes. Yeah. I didn't catch that. I don't really watch that kind of stuff though.
What do you watch?
I watch stuff that's entertaining, like Fishing with Flair, and just I watch This and That Garage. I watch guys that are just having fun because it's entertainment at the end of the day.
You never watch TV? You just watch YouTube?
I usually watch YouTube or Netflix or Amazon Prime or Disney. I watch Mandalorian. I watched everything from Mandalorian. I watch a lot of movies, and I watch certain things on YouTube that I follow. Like I never miss an episode of Fishing with Flair. I never miss an episode of. I watch all of Vice Grip Garage, but even watching Vice Grip Garage, I don't take everything he says
I understand you
as
don't miss
gospel.
an episode on YouTube, but did you ever? I understand you don't miss an episode on YouTube, but you ever watch on Netflix? You bring that up. You ever watch Cobra Kai?
Yep, I watched all of it except for the last season. I
Well,
never
that's-
really watched. I lost interest in it in the last season.
Why you're
Didn't
afraid
know-
to get your ass kicked by a karate guy?
Dude, I grew up with the Karate Kid, man. I was like, when the Karate Kid actually came out, I was like 6 years old. Yes, I watched Mando. Absolutely. I watched Mandalorian for sure. I watch Yellowstone. I watch I watch a lot of series stuff whenever I get a chance. That's what I'd usually be doing now is falling asleep watching a movie or something like that. You know? Like I have my rituals. On Fridays, I do my live stream and I watch a couple usually it's Vice Grip Garage, Junkyard Digs, No Nonsense, No How. I watch those same guys. That's all I have time for. Project Farm on Sundays.
I gotta be completely honest with you. The only like movies. What's up, Jude?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
See ya.
Hey, Jude.
I said it's a friendly stream, so everybody be friendly. Respectful stream is what I comment. The only thing I've had time to fucking watch, and it was only when I had a few days off, is I was able to catch up with Cobra Kai. Other than that, I watched some YouTube videos here and there. Watched a lot of I watched some Scanner Danner shit. I watched some Super Mario Diagnostics. I mean, I could go on with a couple other interesting channels that I watched that are
Fab
about-
Rats. I watch Fab Rats too religiously.
I don't know fab shit. I just watch diagnostic shit, and then I also pop on and watch some live streams, and I always like check out to see if anybody does any cool tool truck reviews.
I don't really
And then
follow.
fucking
Y'all should check out Articulated Motorsports. I don't know if you guys see that channel or not.
Yeah,
That's a dude out here in Palm
I'm
Desert. That guy,
subscribed.
I don't know how he hasn't blown up yet, but if he keeps continuing to put content out, he will. I promise you. That guy's got a sick channel, man. Really, really, really cool stuff. Yeah, I watch him. I watch Lindsay Coyle. Tarek, I watch a lot of his stuff. He's been putting up videos a lot lately. All my friends, I watch their stuff, but I try to.
I don't think I've sat through a whole movie and
Now, if you get a chance, you have to watch Cocaine Bear. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I have heard that, but I haven't watched it yet.
I gotta be honest with you. The last time I watched a movie from start to finish was like the first time I called in sick to work in like I don't know, like 12 years. And I just woke up and felt like hell and just didn't want to do anything. I don't know what the issue is. I just felt like hell. I mean, just achy. So I probably had the flu or some shit. But I looked on Netflix and I saw Days of Thunder was on. Everything else looked like shit. Everything else that showed up instantly without me searching. I didn't search. So I watched Days of Thunder. And I fell asleep probably halfway through it.
Now I do watch movies. My kid and I, that's the one thing we do. We like to go to the theater, check out movies, usually on a Friday night. You know, right after basketball practice, we'll just go hit the last show of whatever movie's out that week that he wants to check out. That's that we play basketball and watch movies, man. He always tells me when he's because he's young, and when he was a little bit younger, he would always tell me, "Daddy, when you're old and I have to go visit you, so I'm gonna still take you to the movies on Friday nights." I'm like, all right, cool.
We gotta hit it up here for JWC Tech.
I've never seen that show.
Vice Grip Garage.
My latest favorite is This and That Garage. He's pretty awesome. He's just a good old boy in Tennessee doing his thing. He built a 350 for his old Chevy truck. He did it he line boarded it in his garage. He did all the head work. I enjoy watching that kind of stuff because I don't enjoy watching car repair videos really that much, because why do I want to watch something that I do all day? It really doesn't excite me to watch somebody work on car. I watch a little bit of Eric O every once in a while, but unless I'm running into a problem where I need to look at something on YouTube, or I just don't find it as entertaining as I used to. But I do like Vice Grip Garage just because he's funny. That's the only reason I like watching him. I like watching guys do interesting stuff like that.
There's a lot of
Jason,
things.
the Mario movie was pretty good.
I don't watch Eric O or South Main Auto. I don't watch him if he's doing.
You don't watch Eric O?
I watch him. No, I'm trying to explain myself. I watch Eric O, but if I see put up doing a brake job, no, I don't watch.
He does a ton of brake jobs because that's what.
If he's doing a diag thing, where he's got an issue going on with, CAN bus issues or PCM issues.
The latest one he had, I watched, where he had the shock tower go through on that truck, was mind blowing to me. Like a 2012 Chevy pickup where the shock tower blew out and hit the fuel pump circuit. That was interesting to me. I didn't mind watching that.
First Eric O video I remember watching.
Not necessarily hitting the thing, but I've seen the shock towers rust out and blow out. I'm sure.
I've never seen that here.
You've never seen that in Iowa? Never
seen it blow through and hit the harness, the fuel pump harness.
I just said I've never seen it hit the harness.
Right. Well, I've seen them blow through. Yes, I've definitely seen them rust out, but never seen one like that where it clipped the harness. That was an interesting and a very good catch, which is a testament to his skill.
When I first started watching YouTube, well, I think it was 2020. I was flipping through, the recommended videos or whatever, and I saw this video of some dude doing a tune-up on a Ford with the Triton engine in it, and I'm watching it, and I'm thinking, oh, look at this guy, man! I'm gonna watch this video. I feel this guy probably needs people to watch videos. He's trying real hard to do a YouTube video. So I watched the whole thing, and I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna give it a like, and I'm gonna give it a comment, and didn't think much of it. I was just throwing someone a bone, hoping like I hope people do me now. And then I started seeing it more and more. And the person I thought I was helping out by giving him a full view, watching the whole video, it was Eric O. Like that thing really needed me to watch his videos.
Well, he's damn near doubled.
All those.
He's tripled in size since then, though. When I first started watching him, he was only probably at 100,000, maybe 80, and now he's at almost 800,000. And the funny thing is everybody thinks that his biggest videos are car repairs. Some of his biggest videos are tool videos. His third biggest video is a wheel bearing trick using an Astro wheel bearing remover. And then his seventh biggest video is the Snap-on tool truck. So
look at his video count per video.
I've only ever seen him on the tool truck. I think one time he bought like a 1/4-inch ratchet or something like that, and he
updated his scan tool on the tool truck one time. That's probably this video that CP.
that's the video that sent him over, was a Snap-on tool truck experience. He's got 1 million views on it. That's what sent him up on his deal. But the guy's clearly talented. I mean, he's a great mechanic. He's a great guy. All around, just a good dude.
We'll do a video on that. If you're interested, I don't care about monetization. I don't care about the fucking money. I'm not here for that. If you think that's gonna like help you out, do a video updating your Snap-on scan tool in the Snap-on truck, or your same car tool, or your launch, or whatever you have, your top down.
I don't know what you mean.
Them. No, it's like do a video and show them how to upgrade it. I mean, I know, like
I do. I buy a new tool every 2 years now.
Truck, the rest you can do by the internet.
Yeah, I don't upgrade any of those aftermarket scan tools because it's pointless. The new Altel that I got was an MX808 Bluetooth, and
That's a good scan tool.
No, the new one has a new processor in it. I've got a brand new one that just came out in 2023.
Yeah, but it's still an old scan tool.
No, it's got different things. It's still not as good as some of the other scan tools out there, but like I said before, the Altel doesn't have they don't. I don't know what the deal is going on with Altel, but there's another company now too that's come out that's rebranding Altel stuff. They're a partner of Altel, and it's called Otter or something. Otter says they say they're partnered with Altel. And they're basically using Altel software on the newer platforms.
Interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the name. They messaged me and they wanted to send me a scan tool, and I said, "Nah, I'm good." I said, "I'll pass."
No, when it comes to me and YouTube watching, I find myself watching those third world tradespeople, like anyone in Africa or India, just trying to get the job done.
Right, those guys are pretty interesting. I mean, they definitely
pretty hardcore stuff, from like rebuilding alternators right there on the spot,
auto fit,
and casting parts, insane stuff, man.
Yep. Well, that Mechanic Steve was quite the interesting fellow. Yeah. No doubt about it. I watched one guy. He doesn't talk, but he's like from China or something like that. And he built a boat. He built like all sorts of weird stuff. That was kind of interesting. I don't watch him that religiously, but there's definitely some people from some third. YouTube is a global market. I mean, there's a ton of different people from a ton of different countries that do a ton of different interesting things. And once you start,
well, that's the thing, is like I see all these people on, do I need all these tools to do this job? And I tell them, go watch this video. You'll realize how privileged you are that you can go down to
absolutely
buy a tool. Like these guys buy a tool.
You're absolutely right, because a lot of these people can't afford to get stuff done, and that's exactly like this guy that I seen from China, whatever. I mean, he was using basically old steel rods and beat up hammers and to pound races and stuff like that. And he was welding, he was welding with a stick welder that not a single person would be allowed to use here in the United States.
Yeah.
There is a lot of truth to you can get it done with a little bit of stuff, you know. I mean, my grandpa for years struggled. That's part of the reason why I buy the tools I do now, because I watched my grandpa use absolutely nothing for years to fix stuff, and it frustrated me. I just never wanted to be like him. I never wanted to struggle like him when he was doing stuff.
Yeah.
CP, how often do you ever come across shit where you get like modules not talking to each other that you got to diagnose?
I'd say at least once a month. Had a Ford Fusion that had that problem here a couple weeks ago, but it turned out it was just a bad PCM. So really was kind of I couldn't get any communication to it. Didn't have any power to the DLC, and they fried the computer basically. I think it got struck by lightning, if I'm being honest. That's the nearest thing. But we couldn't actually come up with an actual fix for it or an actual conclusion to what happened. They never jump started the car. It wouldn't start. It wouldn't turn over. And then
struck by lightning or struck by a power.
Wait a minute, a Ford Fusion. You said didn't have any power at the.
No, didn't have any power to the DLC.
The DLC is not powered by the fucking PCM.
It had nothing. It had no power. It wouldn't start. No crank. No start.
PCM powers the fucking DCL. The PCM's at the end of the communication bus on a Ford. Almost every vehicle it is. Did it fix it? Replacing the PCM?
Of course.
All right.
That was what we did. We replaced the PCM and then started working. Wasn't getting communication to the power center. PCM wasn't sending signal to the power center. We had power from the battery to the starter and to the fuse block, but it wouldn't go any further. Checked all the fuses, checked all the relays, checked the ignition module. Nothing would communicate, so we replaced the PCM.
What do you mean you had power going to the starter?
The power from the main wire, which the battery is wired to.
Why would you even check the starter?
Because we were trying to get it to start. So I wanted to see if it.
I checked to see if you got power at the starter, of course. But
that's what we did.
I checked to see if you get feed when you turn the key at the solenoid.
Right, we did that. So we were checking the ignition. Yeah, nothing. It wouldn't get anything. Initially, I thought it just had a blown fuse. I thought it was going to be a simple fix, and turned out it got deeper than that.
That's interesting.
Yep, it was an interesting deal. Trust me. After hooking up the IDS to it and doing a couple tests, that's what we confirmed.
Do you have an IDS?
I do.
For how many manufacturers?
Mainly Ford. That's basically why you can't put IDS and GM on the same laptop.
Yeah, you can.
They don't gel together.
Mine has it.
Yeah, they do. The new one does, because the new GM is all online.
Well, I don't have GM anymore online. Yeah. I did have
the older one. You guys either had to have dual boot or run virtual machine for GM. That's what I hated about the old GM software.
Right. They thought, well, I don't have Micropad. I don't have Chrysler Micropod neither.
And you can't run the Mazda at the same time on the same drive as the Ford either. That drove me batty. That they're the same software.
Right.
Jesus.
A lot of these OEM manufacturers don't really gel together, though. It's not uncommon.
That's why I've got a whole whack of virtual machines on my desktop, because I've got all my softwares installed on virtual machines.
Right. Well, we have me and my buddy share. We split the cost of it, but we have Tough Books that we use for them. Just because the fact is when another tech is using it, we know that at least they're not going to destroy a laptop.
Yeah.
And they're really not that expensive for a Tough Book.
I'm really looking at these Ansell injector cleaning systems.
Yeah, there you go. AutoFix. AutoFix uses the tablets, newer Android hardware, and Altel. But AutoFix claims they are a direct partner of Altel. They contacted me, and I said, I don't really want to deal with you. I said I'm unsure this tool will offer the best possible experience for me. I'm really just not interested at this time. They wanted to send me the AutoFix D1.
Really?
Wow. I'm just looking at the new Ansell injector cleaning and testing unit that they got.
I really like the Ansell stuff. I really think the Ansell stuff is really nice.
Yeah, their smoke machine is really nice. But that's the thing. They're all the between Top Don, ThinkCar, and Ansell. They all share technology, because like the smoke machines are the same thing across the board. But that's the thing. They don't have the injector cleaner on the other platforms. But it's a really nice. It even has an ultrasonic cleaner. Like for the price, that's sweet. Like $800 for a 6-injector tester and ultrasonic cleaner. Jesus, that's nice. I'm AliExpress shopping right now.
The Ansell S3000, I have that smoke machine.
Yeah,
and
nice machine.
Yeah, it works. It really works pretty good.
Yeah,
and it's really inexpensive.
Yeah.
I also have a Speed Smoke too, though. Or not a Speed Smoke, but a Redline smoke machine. I definitely grab the Ansell more. Do you do a lot of smoke testing? Quick wrench? A lot of evap?
Your mic is off, Dave. You're muted, Dave. Your mic is off. Your mic is off, Dave.
What's going on here?
Dave's mic is off. That's what makes his stream so much fun. Always a technical glitch. We got to use sign language now. Or post-it cards. Smoke signals. I'm a meanie. Diesel injector cleaner. Oh, dude. What's this? Oh, there's another person. Oh, it's Diabulk.
Oh.
Hey. Still can't hear you, Dave. No. Can't hear you, Dave.
Is he frozen?
I don't know. I think he's got his mic off or he muted himself. I don't know. He's still learning how to use it all, though.
Can't he hear you?
He should be able to hear us. Dave, turn your microphone on. No. No. Three.
I got you now.
There we go.
Nice to see
Now
you,
I can
Dan.
smell you. Now I can smell you. Oh, Cheerio.
I was busy dealing with credit collectors, man. They want to take all my fucking money. They say I didn't pay them. You no pay me. You no pay me. I'm like, I didn't know. Who are you from? I'm from this country. I do not know you have not paid me. Goodbye. Goodbye. I do not have a credit card with you. Goodbye. I mean,
It's like, where are you from? I'm from right down the street.
yeah, seriously, like it's like what time? It's pushing 3 a.m. here in Eastern time, and seriously,
You mean you didn't get your extended car warranty updated?
no, somebody's gonna call me and want to talk about refinancing my house.
At fucking 2 a.m?
Well, first of all, if I already got a finance on my house that's like 10 years old or whatever, when it was at like 0.289%, why in the fuck would I entertain like 7% interest rate? Well, you could turn bad debt into good debt, sir. That's what they told me. You could turn bad debt into good debt, sir. I'm like, what's bad debt?
Sounds like a scam to me.
I said,
Yep.
all debt's bad. My mortgage is bad. So explain to me what's good debt versus bad debt.
Jude said he's backstage.
1, 2, 3, 4. I have nobody backstage right now. Oh, yeah, it might. I'm sorry about that. I forgot to put that on the screen.
What's up, man? I'm back. Sorry about that. I dropped out for a second.
I'm sorry about that. I'm not like I said, I'm not used to this. I've been a cheap
Dropped
ass.
out
Man.
and I bumped back in, and you. I thought maybe they changed it to 5 or something because you put John and I was just sitting there. What's up, everyone?
It's all well. It's nice to see y'all.
What's up, Tarek?
Same old.
Sayer, how you doing?
Oh, not bad. You
You know how things go.
keeping yourself senile?
Yeah.
No. I'm liking that snap-on hat. I like the tan. That tannish. Is that tan camouflage?
No, it's kind of like a cork
Like a cork, yeah. I'm liking
Cork.
that one.
with
Simple and clean.
So it's kind of quirky.
Well, it was clean. It's got oil all over it now. All my hats end up like this though. The one I didn't want to end up like this was the one that has the USA flag on it. I should have just kept that one for like Memorial Day and 4th of July and crap like that, but it went the way of every other one.
Yeah. No.
Jude, have you seen those hats that are already dirty you can buy from Snap-on?
Yeah, Roscoe has some on his truck. I was tripping out on those.
Already dirty.
Yeah, they have like three things on it.
At first, I saw it. I was looking at it, and then I kept looking at it, and I looked up the inside of it, and I was like, "Did someone? I don't know. I thought someone switched hats on him or something, you know." And then I looked at the inside; it was all clean. I was like, "Ah, it's a scam."
It's kind of like buying jeans with holes in them already, right?
I don't get that shit. I've had my jeans have patches in them, not holes. my wife puts patches on the holes in my jeans. I've had my 501s, no bullshitting, probably since the late 90s.
I miss corduroys. Those were tough pants for work back in the day. Corduroys, you couldn't destroy them.
Yeah.
They're uncomfortable, but they were tough.
I have a pair of Levi's. I think they're like 589 loose fits that I've had, geez, probably 15 years, and they are like paper thin, but they are my absolute favorite.
Yeah, you can't beat Levi's, man. At least in my opinion.
Ass falls out of them. I did the same thing, and one day I was walking, and the whole ass fell out of them.
My ass is still
I was
good.
wearing the belt. No, fucking from the bottom of the belt on, fell right the hell off.
My ass is still good, but I got thunder thighs, so like the inner thighs are.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the damn jeans that got so thin. I'm just talking about the material. Just all of a sudden, just said.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Is
a quitter sock? Bam! It just fell off.
That's what I'm talking about. My ass is still good. My ass on them is still good. Just for me, it's the inner thigh that is not much left. And I know I'm gonna wear them, and then they're just gonna split all the way up, and then I'll be in my birthday suit.
I don't think I ever get more than like 2 years out of a pair of jeans.
Carhartt work pants I have to replace every year.
Good night.
Regular jeans I don't wear enough, so they last me a long time. But work pants I go through pretty quick.
They did that shit back in the day where they were selling jeans that guys would go out in the clothesline and blow holes in them with a shotgun shell, and they got big money for them.
Yeah,
I remember that was big when I was a kid. It's always been around.
I always like the bleached. You find the one with you go to like Abercrombie and you get the ones that have like bleach stains on them, and you pay extra for the bleach stains.
Right. It's dumb.
Yeah,
I want to.
As a child, flower print shirts for boys was an in thing.
It's a lot of dumb shit in the world, but we all got to live with it.
I prefer to.
I've had these types of jeans forever, but I'm pretty soon you're gonna. I mean, I in the last month and a half, I've had to add two loops to my belt, or two belt hole loops because I'm shrinking a little bit. So these things just look ridiculous. I'm starting to look ridiculous on me, so I'm gonna have to get some these.
Dude, you lost like what, about 40 pounds or 50 pounds?
Dude, I'm down now, almost 50. I kind of got to it. I hit 40 about 2-3 weeks ago, and I've still stayed between 40. I actually gained a little bit of weight, and then I lost a little weight again. But yeah, I am almost at 50.
Yeah, you look good.
Nice.
Keep it up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're getting older, man. You got to get that extra weight off you.
Yeah, I want to try to keep up with my kid, man.
Well, Jude and I have a once a week weigh-in, and we got consequences if we don't make our weigh-in. So
yeah, we're absolutely.
We're holding each other accountable.
I just would assume when you said that, Turk, that Jude's getting free tools every week. No disrespect, Turk.
No, I'm usually pretty close to making my marks. I stopped wearing a leather belt, and I just started using the canvas one that you that like loops over the brass things because I got
so
tired.
you can't sit there and tell Jude how many loops you went down.
I can't tell him how many loops, but the scale doesn't.
Cheating. That's cheating.
But the scale doesn't. The scale and the pant size doesn't lie either. So
that's cheating if you can't count the loops. It's cheating.
You know, good leather belts are friggin' expensive, and I got tired of cutting.
Good leather
cutting
belts are expensive. Give me a fucking break. How many snap-on screwdrivers do you have?
That's
not the point. That's not the point.
Oh, go ahead.
I was like, I was saying that's not the point. The screwdrivers are important to me. The belts aren't.
Yeah. When I started almost 2 years ago at the shop I'm at now, the Salernos, I was wearing the 4X shirt and it fit me like perfect. This is a 2X now, and it's freaking like a smock, like a muumuu.
Yeah, I'm wearing a 2X North Face fleece, and it's big on me. And when I first got this, it was actually like form fitting. And then t-shirt size, I went from XXX to, depending on the brand, I'm in regular large or extra large now. The last batch of t-shirts I ordered were all in large. And actually, Jude got me a hoodie, and he thought it was going to be too small, and it fit me perfect.
Oh, the Cornwall one?
Yeah.
I did think I was concerned, and then you were wearing it one day. I said, "Oh, dude, that thing fits you great."
Yeah, I've watched it multiple times, so it's shrunk every bit it's going to shrink, and it's been doing great.
Oh, thanks, Jason.
Boots were made for walking, and walking's what they'll do. Someday, somebody's boots may walk all over you.
These boots were made for walking.
Cookies. You guys want some treats too?
What is that?
These are Temptations cat treats.
They're good.
Oh, those are my favorite.
They're actually good. Your breath smells like fish afterwards. Like eating rotten pussy. I'm sorry if any females are watching. Sorry, Shannon.
Those are the best ones to trap coons with. Raccoons love cat treats.
Good thing you said raccoons.
See, I don't work to keep myself alive. I work to keep the cats alive. Got 9 of them. It's almost $800 a month to feed them.
Jesus, criminy.
$800 a month to feed 9 cats?
Yeah, because they're pampered. They all have to have wet food.
You know, you can get a hooker for a lot less. That's a lot of pussy. A lot of pussy you're feeding.
And they're very picky. They're picky eaters.
My dogs are on a bison and ostrich meat diet, and it's about $300 every time I order their kibble.
Yeah.
Henry won't eat anything but soft dog food, so he's at $2.50 a can a day.
Yeah.
I tried giving him Blue Buffalo. I tried giving him everything. He will not eat it. He is the pickiest dog I've ever seen in my life.
I thought I was going to start saving money after my daughter moved out. Then I ended up getting cats. Damn it.
I don't even like cats, and I ended up with 2 of them. But they've been pretty cool.
I don't mind cats, but Henry doesn't like them, so the neighbor found that out the hard way.
Let Henry eat your neighbor?
He ate my neighbor's cat.
Oh.
Bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Your
Destroyed
dog,
it.
Small. Was it kitten?
No, it was a full-grown adult cat. He destroyed it.
My cat would fucking destroy your dog in a heartbeat.
Bring him on up.
My dog's like coyotes back crying.
Henry's killed 2 woodchucks, a possum, and a cat.
A Maine Coon is very similar to a bobcat.
I wouldn't even put my Maine Coon against it. I just grab my regular house cat. My house cat will fucking swipe a little shit like that. Like, fuck you. You grab him by the neck, the cat will turn around and grab him by the neck twice as hard. And that they go.
But you know that Maine Coon is would fuck most stuff up. They're no joke once you get pissed Maine Coon off.
They're basically like a freaking bobcat.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, they're like a direct relative of the bobcat.
Let me see if I can get him out of here. I don't know where he's at. He's only nice to me.
What is he? What does he weigh? About 30 pounds?
He's over that.
Yeah.
Like probably about 30.
I remember
that he was 36 pounds.
I remember the first time I ever saw a Maine Coon, I was in a client's house and I had no idea they had one. And they said, "Don't let the cat out of the house." I was like, "Okay." And I remember when I saw this thing, I freaked the fuck out. I went outside and I called them and I said, "I don't know if I'm seeing the right thing, but when you said a cat, I expected a kitty cat, and you have a fucking mountain lion in the house." And they're like, "Oh, that's Princess. Don't worry, she's great." I'm like, "Okay."
And they're intelligent cats too. They will mess with you. Mancoons are friggin' very intelligent.
Yeah, he's right. They're intelligent. He already knows I want to bring him out here for a freaking dog and pony show, so he's looking at me like, I'm not coming out. He's like, what are you going to do with me?
Your dogs get along with him?
No. They try to eat him, and I'm glad he's nice to him.
Well,
He swipes at him and shit, but
that Maine Coon could really fuck him up.
oh, I know. I tell the puppies all the time, don't fuck with that cat. Don't fuck with that cat. That cat's gonna fuck you up.
We had 2 border collies. They'd kill the cats too when we were on the farm. They'd eat them right up.
Swat to the face could fuck with one of their eyes and stuff. And, yeah, that would be good.
Cats have a natural ability that's hard to beat for a lot of animals. They have a natural defense ability that's hard to overcome for a lot of animals. And if they're good,
some dogs are a lot smarter than others, though. Border collies are really smart. They would wear them out. They would chase them around, wear them out.
It has one distinctive ability that a dog doesn't.
They can climb.
You know what it is?
That they can climb?
They can climb. Turner, what can a cat do that a dog can't? In a self-defense mode where they want to kill their enemy.
In a self-defense mode where they want to kill them? Jesus.
And walk away from it.
Go for the neck or what?
Yeah,
They usually take the high ground and pounce.
They can release their claws.
Yeah, they can release
throw
their
the claws right, and they go right for the nose. They release their claws. The animal freaks the fuck out. The cat gets the hell out of there.
Only thing I've never seen is a cat kill a dog, but I've definitely seen a dog kill a cat.
Dude, Yellowstone National Park, it all depends on the terrain. Who's tougher, the lion or the wolf?
That's a different story. We're talking about a 500-pound animal versus a 100-pound animal.
Well, you know, the lion.
Mountain lions. No.
Mountain lions are just nasty as all get out. They're nothing. They're no joke.
The wolf wins on its own terrain. If you're on a fucking hillside terrain and all that shit.
We're talking house cats. Now we're talking wild animals.
Okay,
cats are
the lions and tigers. Lions and tigers may be stronger than the wolf, but you don't ever see wolves performing in a circus.
No, that's true.
Yeah, you do. They're a very smart group of animals.
Every animal in their own wild environment has their own advantages and disadvantages. I mean, honestly, when you look at it, obviously a lion is the king of the jungle for a reason. It's a pretty badass animal. Leopards, mountain lions, as far as a cat species,
one of the most dangerous animals in the world is a hippo, and most
Yeah.
people wouldn't even think about a hippo, but
Oh, yeah.
their jaws can absolutely crush anything, and they're also a lot quicker than they look like they should be.
You see that
Never
video of
under-
a speedboat in the
Really
river
fucked last
and
time I
the
got
hippos
the
in the
hippo.
water?
I got my
Oh, yeah. The
ripple
the
of
trails
water
they make
takes you.
underwater and how fast they can run underwater is amazing. For as big as the animals they are, 3 tons. I mean, they're incredible.
Well,
Only thing I
North
don't like is
America-
their poop throwing ability scares me more than anything.
in North America for wild animals, badgers are the most insane thing in the world.
Wolverines.
I've seen badgers rip tires off of trucks.
What about Wolverines? Turner?
Wolverines, if you rarely ever see them, rarely ever find them, and they'll rarely
they're
ever
rare, but they're
come
nasty
close to you. A badger will get close to you, and it will
Bobcats
tear
are
you
pretty
apart.
sweet animals too, for as far as agility and just pure nastiness. If they want to be.
What,
Mountain lions, I've seen a lot of mountain lion attacks. That's my biggest fear is mountain lion. Being caught out in the woods with a mountain lion and it's after you, that would be.
Well, that would be a good fucking meal for the mountain lion.
The thing is with mountain lions are unpredictable, and
Right.
if they start stalking you, then you're not winning. You're not winning.
That video that mountain lion was out in California with that poor girl or that guy, I can't remember who it was, but he was backing down the trail and was coming after him. That was a pretty surreal incident.
So what do you got on your plate for tomorrow, CP?
I got shit to do. Junk to fix. Gotta go out to Granger to my buddy Mark's shop and work on a bunch of old crap. We've been planting, so we're working on tractors. Planting season here.
We're going to be 90 by Friday, 80s on Saturday, and back to rain and frost on Sunday.
I don't think we even have above 60-degree temperatures here all week.
This is the first week we've had anything above probably 62, and get for 3 days and then back to shit. Last year, summer didn't even start till 4th of July. Yeah, then all the way up till 4th of July last year. It's gonna be another shitty year for crops.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get that much. We haven't had that much rain. It's pretty low. The water's pretty low.
We were just saturated last year that even all the fields, they only got one mow, and by October they should be on their third mow. And because the season started so late and the frost was so late, they only got one mow, and so all the guys that rely on selling all the hay from their fields, had a lot of trouble over the winter and sold off. A lot of my neighbors sold off their cows over the winter just because of how expensive
Cost of feed. Yep.
They can't grow their own. Nobody
Nope.
locally has it.
When you're
People that
spending-
have sold it off to Texas and California and stuff because they could get quadruple the price for it.
When round bales go up to $250 a round bale, that's when shit hits the fan. That's when be a bad year, make the economy suffer if we don't get something happen where the crops and stuff come in.
It's either you're either swamped out or you're in a drought. There's no in between.
Either way, the farmers will be crying, wanting to get assistance from the government.
And they'll get it.
Put in thousands of dollars of crops, let them go to shit, and then they'll collect insurance. It's crazy how it works.
American life.
Only crazy as the crazy does, right?
It's definitely a crazy process. Not like it used to be when I was a kid. Seems like only yesterday we were running 2-row pickers, and now they're up to running automatic combines and planters. And I mean, the shit that they do now is just it's unfathomable to me. Mississippi's flooded. The pond by my house is almost down almost a whole foot, and we're at the end of April where we should have had tons of rain.
You guys have had quite a bit of rain.
Not that much. We had a little bit at once, but I mean, not enough to sustain for crops. I mean, they're able to plant with. They're going to be planting with probably very minimal mud issues or anything like that. There's not no standing water in most of the fields. Normally, this time of year, you'll run into a lot of standing water. 2 years in a row, it's been dry. It is what it is, though. This is how shit happens. I don't know. I'm not no weather person. Quite frankly, I got enough on my plate to worry about what they do. I just help them fix shit so they can get it out and get planting. All hands on deck. They just don't. There's not enough people to keep the machinery going.
Well, there's not enough hands on deck where I work. There's not
No.
machinery going. There's just not enough hands on deck.
There's not enough hands on deck anywhere. My question is, how are all these people still making it when you're not getting any more COVID relief money? But how are you still making it by not working? I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I didn't get any COVID relief money, and I couldn't afford to quit working. So I don't understand how people can not work, and if they got COVID relief money, how are they still getting money? That's the interesting question.
Someone was talking to me today or yesterday
Yeah,
about
guys.
something that they passed here in California that just passed. There was some like effed up communist law where they're gonna, you know, depending on, well, first off, like for instance, they're gonna tax everyone. The way everyone's gonna get taxed is so that it's money's gonna basically you're giving money to people who don't have. So essentially, if I have 2 cars and someone else has none, you know, they're giving them a car, but this is just in money wise. They're totally screwing us up, man. It's a total communist freaking law.
Makes no sense. Makes no sense why you give to people that are not contributing. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Someone asked,
Doesn't
was saying,
make
"Oh, you
most of
know,
us.
I don't. All I got is $40 to my name. I don't know what I'm going to do." I said, "Man, I know you can make $40 turn into $600." He's like, "Wow." I said, "Put it in your tank. You know, put that $40 in gas and go get a fucking job and go work for them."
The actually, I don't remember what I was gonna say now.
I'll tell you, the one thing that's concerning to me is that if I go to a gas station and there's this person working in the gas station and they're getting paid $15, $20 an hour and they have no effort or put no effort into their job, what's that say about the people that we're hiring to work job? I mean, I was always taught that if you work a job, you put all of your effort into it. You know, I mean, like you're there to work, you should put your effort into it. But they feel their philosophy is that they needed them to work, so they're paying them to work, but they don't have to put any effort into it. That's what bugs me the most.
Even if here we're hiring at $21 an hour, full benefits, vacation, and 401k.
Where was this?
Gas station, the VP gas station right up the street.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, there's most places around here. Any place around here, you can work $15-$20 an hour. But the people that are working there just absolutely give zero shits about doing their job. I mean, you ask them for something, they're like, nah, I don't know. Nah, they don't care. They're just like, I come in, clock in, do my job. I don't have to do anything else. They needed me. I don't need them. Even some guys that are working in shops now think that they're secure because they have a job working at a shop. I see several guys going to different shops. My buddy Derek, he said, well, I got this guy working for me, but all he does is show up and basically he won't do anything. He'll only do the jobs he wants to do, and he can't get him to do anything else. Like he only wants to do brakes and suspension. He asked him to do something else, he won't do it. And he's like, I can't. How can I maintain keeping somebody around like that? I mean, I understand that picking and choosing your job, but in a small shop where you don't really have those options to have different guys to rely on, where does that leave you? And as a shop owner, he puts him in a tough position. Do you fire a guy that's doing half the work that he needs to be doing?
Well, as a shop owner, my personal opinion, in today's world, if you're going to be an independent shop owner, you have two choices. You're going to either be low end or very high end. Very high end, you're not going to deal with any of the bullshit. It's this or nothing. Basically, you bring your car to me, you're dedicating yourself to at least a $200 initial checkout. You're going to be low end, fuck around, do oil changes, do all that bullshit, do whatever. But you bring your car to me, it's $200 to start. I'll call you once I inspect your vehicle, and we'll go from there.
I can certainly tell you that a lot of shops are talking about raising rates to ridiculous amounts, just for the simple fact is that they want to reduce the amount of wait time. You know, if they can get rid of some of the customers that they don't really want and make it up with the price that they charge, they're willing to do that.
No, I'm going to bed, guys. You have a great night. It was fun hanging out with y'all.
Yeah, it is getting pretty late.
And everyone in chat, awesome. Have a great night, everyone.
See ya.
See you guys.
Good night.
All right.
What's the labor rate for shops or dealerships in your guys' area? I know out here, the Volkswagen dealership, now granted that's your European dealership. I was just talking to last week. It was last week, but they said there was I forget why I called them. I think I found the recall, and I was trying to find out for a customer if they would reprogram their modules for them, and they would. It was a recall for it, but they said that if it wasn't covered, it was going to be 2 hours labor at I think they said $225 an hour, because he told me $450, but it ended up getting taken care of. Did it for the customer. But I was thinking, damn, man, $225 an hour. That
don't surprise me.
No, the BMW dealerships over $210 an hour here. Some of the small shops out in the really stick areas are like $90 an hour. Most of the shops are $125, $130 an hour in town, and then like the dealerships are like $165. Diesel shops are $200 an hour. Heavy duty truck shops are like $200 an hour. They're kind of all over, but
we're at 125, and if we do, that's for anything gas. It doesn't matter if it's European or not. And then if we work on diesels, we're at 165.
Dealerships around here are between like 195 and like 245, depending what dealership it is.
I expect them to be up to 200 plus by next year. It wouldn't surprise me one bit.
Well, guys, I know it's later for a lot of you than it is for me, but I got to be up in 5 hours.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I'm up way past my bedtime.
I'm gonna call it a night, man. I'll see everyone later.
See you, Jude.
We're about to head out. Thanks for having me on, quick, because I didn't even, dude. You know, before I go, I was looking at your channel when it popped up that you were live. I guess you mostly do shorts, but all your shorts are killing it, dude. I don't think you have anything with like less than a couple thousand views.